The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
Ah!
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers,
You pig! Stop! Damn it!
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Overreaction Monday, October 16th, 2023. This sports program starts now.
Football
is having an insane run right now, where yesterday we saw our final two undefeated teams in the NFL go down to the Jets and the Cleveland Browns. The NFL is so unpredictable, but it is so damn glorious. We'll be talking about it all today as we celebrate the 1972 Dolphins, who are popping bottles of champagne as they remain the only undefeated team in the history of the NFL. So much happened yesterday, including a lot of injuries. A lot of injuries yesterday. Obviously, massive upsets, new narratives, new tales, new stories, and we'll cover it all. Adam Schefter will be joining us in about 29 minutes to give us an update on all the things that are updatable. Now, the past few weeks talking to Schefter, it's been a lot of, he's getting tested today, we'll see how it goes.
Right. Yep.
He's getting tested today. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully today we'll have a little bit of a lean on some of these injuries because there's big ones. CMC, Christian McCaffrey has an oblique. That is not good news at all for the San Francisco 49ers. Not just him. Deebo Samuel has a shoulder. Trent Williams hurts his ankle early. Now, I'm not saying that's why they lost to the team called the Cleveland Browns, but I am saying it started to look a little bit like the NFC Championship whenever there was just injury to their big-time names. Now, Brock Purdy had a little bit of a human day. They had a chance to win at the end. Jake Moody could have hit a 41-yarder in Cleveland. That's going to be a tough place to kick. Pulls one early, pushes one late. This is a part of the whole story. It was perfect going into the game. He'll be better on the other side of it. But the Niners, we thought, were unstoppable until Jim Schwartz said, the defense coordinator for the Cleveland Browns, have you ever seen my record against Kyle Shanahan? I got it. The Cleveland Browns out-physicaled the 49ers, and that is not something that ever happens. It very rarely happens, and they did it yesterday to the tune of a dub, stopping an undefeated team from making a run here in 2023. Then you talk about what the Jets did to the Philadelphia Eagles, and you hear what Robert Saleh said after the game, which we will listen to here in a bit. It was awesome. Let's not even talk about the other teams that have been making things happen. The Cardinals are playing good against everybody.
Yeah.
Now, they don't get a win, obviously, but they're playing good. They're going to be a tough out. Every team is realizing that it's impossible to win in the NFL if you shoot yourself in the foot, and that is the story of the day. Chargers-Cowboys wrap up Week 6 this evening on Monday Night Football, and we are lucky to be here. The Toxic Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Ty, good to see you. I haven't seen you since Wednesday.
Yeah, it is good to see you. I was going to say, I mean, you miss one day, and it feels like you're gone for a month, but great to be back. What an incredible weekend of football. I mean, having the Pack on a bye week, you know, is just, you can go into Sunday, just kind of relax and keep an eye on all the other teams. That is a real treat, especially when your team's playing like shit. It is a real treat to just have them not be playing and just enjoy all the action.
And if you look at the hoodie you're wearing, obviously we all did that. There's another team that one third of their team, the offense, has no idea how to do anything.
No.
But the other two, the defense and the special teams, more specifically Torrey Taylor and that defense, are going to win them games all the way to the Big Ten championship probably. Time.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, it defies all logic, all explanation. There is no reason that they should be winning games. They should probably be 2-4 right now, or 2-5, whatever it is. They're 6-1. They're in the driver's seat in the Big Ten West. it comes with a little bit of a caveat because we know, hey, you get to Indianapolis and there's a good chance they're going to get beat by 50 or 60 in the Big Ten championship, but I don't care.
Very weird how that's all set up.
It's crazy.
Penn State, Ohio State, and Michigan all on one side.
Yeah.
Weird.
And then the other side, it's who is it? Oh, we don't play offense, we play old school football team.
Yeah.
And then there's a showcase in Indianapolis every single year, and it's a showcase of either Michigan or Ohio State normally taking on somebody and then just smacking them in the mouth.
Usually Iowa or Wisconsin, and then every once in a while, those teams will play them tough. But yeah, I mean the Big Ten East, boy, I'll tell you what.
Massive one this weekend with Ohio State, Penn
Yeah.
State. College Game Day will be there on Saturday. We cannot wait for that. And we will be there Friday, live from the College Game Day, right outside the Horseshoe. I do believe the whole show will be there. We have some surprises in store. Obviously, we have pretty good connections at the Ohio State,
Sure.
With old legends and everything like that. Friday should be pretty phenomenal. We can't wait to get to Columbus. But yeah, Penn State has now entered into the race of like teams that could potentially go on not only the Big Ten championship, but maybe the college football playoff.
Right.
This weekend is a chance for them to prove they're not the same old Penn State. And Ohio State isn't just Ohio State that's going to boat race Penn State. I think we're in for a good one. Can't wait to get there on Friday. I do believe the weather is also going to be a little chilly, but nice.
Okay.
Like 50 degrees.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, especially
Football.
when you're in one of those TV suits.
Oh, yeah.
50 degrees, the weather is there, you're in Ohio, you're smelling all the Ohio folks.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You're doing it. Can't wait to get started on Friday. One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, Tone Diggs is here. You talked about your team not playing and how nice it is. Ty shared the same exact sentiment. What did you learn yesterday from old football?
I think I learned that offense kind of stinks. There's a lot of bad offenses out there. I'll say that. Like if you have a good offense in this league right now, you are leaps and bounds ahead of 20 teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's kind of my takeaway yesterday. There was a lot of bad offenses out there.
9-year NFL vet, a man who played every single position in the secondary, a guy who was great at defense. Ladies and gentlemen, the host of the Man to Man podcast and everything, DB, Darius J. Butler is here. Now, D, but let's just dive right in. This first hour is presented by Verizon, who we absolutely love. And you got to remember that Verizon, anyways, they have here it is, the most reliable 5G network that keeps getting better. There's no better time to test drive the network football fans rely on. Well, shout out to Verizon for being a part of our program. We appreciate the hell out of them.
Right.
But also shout out to you, DB. Let's dive in. Defense is the story of the day.
Yeah.
Because what the Jets did to the Eagles, we'll talk about in a little bit. But what the Browns were able to do to the Niners and what Jim Schwartz has been able to do to Kyle Shanahan, I think he's like 9-1 against them over the last 10 attempts. Why is that? And what did you see from the Browns that made you believe okay, not only beat the Niners, but maybe able to go do some stuff this year?
Yeah, I mean, huge win. Defense wins championships, and they have it on every level. From the front, obviously, Myles Garrett, he's an absolute monster. Z Smith, he's coming over there doing some great things. Second level, those guys fly around. On the back end, they're going to get in your face. They're going to be physical. They're going to play man-to-man coverage, force you to make tight window throws all game long. Weather got a little in there, too, as well. Brock Purdy lost some key guys. But like somebody mentioned earlier, he got him down there in the position to kick a pretty much chip shot in the NFL, 41-yarder. But, that defense, man, they're off to a historical start, too, in this year.
It's interesting because Jake Moody hit that ball outside in by that much and ends up pushing it wide by that much. And if he makes it, we just kind of sneak by the Niners. Yeah, that's no fun. Yeah. That's no fun at all. I assume when it left his foot, he thought it was going in. Then as he saw it moving, he was praying, hold, no. And then all of a sudden you got the longest trip back to San Francisco that you've ever had in your entire life. Shanahan obviously does this one because Shanahan they had not played their best football by a long shot. But in a title run that NFL teams have to have, you're going to win a game like that, where you're going to go in and you're going to steal it. The Browns beat them. The Browns are playing better than them. But when Brock Purdy needed to make a drive, he did, got them in the field goal range. If that ball goes through, we're talking this morning all right, Niners stole one. Niners stole one yesterday. That's the way it goes. But instead now we're talking, is this the blueprint to beat the 49ers? The 49ers much more beatable than we thought. I think George Kittle, the stats say he ran 23 routes, had 1 yard yesterday. Okay, that's after Debo and CMC have injuries and Trent Williams with his entire thing. It's this is not what I think the Niners are going to be going forward. I do believe there's a chance that old Schwartz, a man who used to be the head coach for the Detroit Lions and almost fist fought a guy after the game, after the handshakes, I believe he's a dog and had that defense ready for yesterday. And quarterback, PJ, just did what he had to do.
It's stuff.
We're going to run the ball. Okay, I think they rushed for 184 yards or something like that combined between Ford and Kareem Hunt. Nobody's been able to do that against the Niners. No. But they played the style of football I think everybody's going to try to do against the Niners. Why were the Browns able to do it, con man, and everybody else hasn't been able to do it, you think?
Yeah, maybe it is Schwartz. Like there's a massive chance that Schwartz just has Kyle Shanahan's number, and no matter what, when they play against each other, Schwartz knows what Kyle wants to do and how to stop him. But like the story still is the Niners are one of the best teams. You know, they lose. But if you're a Browns fan, you got to think, okay, we could probably go on and maybe win this whole damn thing. They have like a Super Bowl defense, you can probably say. Yep. They're winning with a backup quarterback. They don't have, obviously, Nick Chubb anymore, and they're still getting a lot of production out of Ford and Hunt, like you just mentioned. That's a ton of rushing yards just in general, let alone against the 49ers defense. Yeah. And, you know, they lost CMC and Trent Williams for a second, Debo. They also lost Dre Greenlaw, I believe, who's been playing unbelievable. So brutal day for the Niners. But if I'm a Browns fan this morning, I legitimately think we have a shot to go to the Super Bowl.
And I think you put the tweet out there. $230 million worth of salary cap is being eaten up by a guy that's not playing.
Yeah.
Okay? Let alone like Chubb and everything like that. Yep. But Deshaun Watson's still not playing, and they just beat the Niners. Yeah. And in the AFC North, now the Ravens the Ravens woke up early over there in London town.
North had a good day
and put on a hell of a showing. I mean, Joe Burrow seemingly all the way back, another big-time win for the Bengals and Joey B doing their thing. But in the AFC North, why not the Browns? Why not the Cleveland Browns? And that's what an Overreaction Monday is all about. Yeah. You beat the Niners on a Sunday. On Monday, I'm going to say that team could win the Super Bowl.
The North defenses yesterday were unbelievable. Like, we watched the Ravens in the morning. They just suffocated the Titans. The Bengals, the Seahawks were in the red zone like 5 times in the fourth quarter, and they got no points out of it. And then the Browns, obviously, against the Niners, and the Steelers gave up no points yesterday either. Like, that was a dominant performance by AFC North.
Yeah,
defense.
Steelers defense yesterday.
Stout.
So good. Yeah. 0 points.
0, baby.
0 points. No mistakes.
North was undefeated yesterday.
No mistakes yesterday. And let's talk about the game that everybody is chatting about because it was in prime time.
Oh,
man.
And let's talk about the game that the Bills snuck out of there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now, we just listed off the teams that lost yesterday, and yesterday was an insane day. So whenever we were watching the Bills and Giants kick off, and we were seeing what the Giants were able to do, it was like, this makes sense for this particular NFL Sunday, that one day here out of the NFL season thus far, everything's going to be backwards. And if the Giants were able to get that win over the Bills, it would have made sense for how yesterday went. Now, I do believe, you know, Giants got screwed there. I think Darren Waller was certainly getting held on that last particular play. Now, D-Butt, I guess, does not agree with that somehow. And I
mean, look at this play. Just look at this play in real speed.
Dude.
Full speed.
Full speed for sure.
For the game?
Full speed for sure. I agree completely. Full speed, tough to see. And I was half asleep whenever it was happening. I was watching it, and I said, man, that seems like good coverage. But then every other angle we've gotten of it, he's just dangling on his left arm. I mean, like
so that's the angle right there of the guy who has to throw the flag pretty much, the back judge.
Yeah.
And if you see that, come on now, Pat.
I mean, Sky can't view. Let's get a ref up there. I understand for the game, but like that back in, we can get into it. Tyreek Hill brought it up last week on his show where he was like, pass interference needs to be reviewable. Yeah. And we had pass interference reviews a couple years ago, and I don't think it was the idea that was the issue. I think it was the execution. We had 95-year-olds who were terrible at being refs. So we saw their room yesterday about who was doing the reviewing of the reviews. It's still happening. We need to get that a little bit more sorted and figured out, too, as the NFL multi-billion-dollar industry, with the refs being a massive piece of the whole thing. And when they're reviewing it, probably jobs on the line, careers on the line, everything like that. But pass interference, I think, needs to be reviewable. Now, there's people that don't agree with that, and you don't agree with that because you didn't want it to work a couple years ago, and then when you saw it a couple years ago, it didn't work. So that gave you a bunch to say, yeah, it didn't work. The reason why it didn't work is Walt Anderson and Alberto Riveron were the people making the decisions. All of us all felt one particular way about a decision, and those doofuses were coming back on the complete opposite side of it. So they wanted it to not work and be terrible. It paid off. But nonetheless, I think that was certainly a pass interference, especially on the last play, especially with the view that you saw where he's holding down his arm. They didn't call it. That happens in football. That happens in the NFL. We move along. The Bills get a win. But with the Bills, the more and more we watch and we see Josh Allen have nights that he had and situations pop up where they had. Like Brian Daboll and that Giants team before half had one of the biggest mistakes I've ever seen in clock management on prime time. It was an embarrassment. Can't happen professionally. They still were they were within a yard of beating the Buffalo Bills. Are we worried about how inconsistent the Bills are? And when's it gonna happen that they're just gonna be able to just be the dominant team that we all assume they can be?
I still think it's too early to be worried about them just because we just talked about, you look around the league, everybody's kind of riding these ups and downs outside of seemingly the Detroit Lions. I mean, they're consistent, it seems like, the last month of football.
Five.
Five, man.
Five, man.
Five, man.
Five, man. That's five. That's
He's got
five.
props now.
Man, he brought a $5 bill out of his bag. You see that? Hey, Lincoln, man. What's that, bro?
So good.
Five, man. That's 5 in a row, man.
I look forward to those every single week.
Yeah, anytime MCDC speaking, we get bumped up about it. But yeah, I'm happy that it's working up there.
Yeah.
Miami Dolphins also, they had a letdown against the Bills, but they're still a wagon, it seems like. But the Bills, just for whatever reason, I've gotten to the point where it's like, I have no idea what's going to happen with them when they're playing football. And I don't think that should be the case with that team.
It shouldn't be. And they lost some huge guys. Daquan Jones, Tre'Davious White, Matt Milano. Like, those are huge guys you lose. Still got most of your offensive pieces, so you expect them to be a wagon, at least on that side of the ball, week in and week out. But it just hasn't been the case, especially against the Giants defense, who hasn't been that great this entire season, playing better as of late. But that was surprising to see. And then on the Giants side, offensively, only put up 9 points. We talked about, tricking that situation off right before the half. But the offense, they look better, I guess, with Tyrod Taylor under there. Daniel Jones wasn't, Daniel Jones, you feel like it would have been some more just blow-up plays where he's turning the ball over. Tyrod kind of took care of the ball. Saquon got going a little bit. But, yeah, it's shocking to see the Bills not be
It's just every single week you don't know. You don't know what it's going to be every single week. And I assume they're wondering why the hell it's happening as well. I think Josh Allen's questioning a lot of things because after plays happen that aren't great, they zoom in on Josh, and it's almost like Josh is as confused as all of us. He's an incredible talent. Obviously, Stephon Diggs is as well. That defense, Poyer was back, saw him flying around. Micah was out there. Vaughn was out. Everybody was out there. Everybody on their team that we know that is healthy is up. And it's like, why are they? I think no production out of Kincaid. Right?
No.
I don't even see him on the field.
He didn't play last night, but up to this point.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's not even on the field. He was supposed to be another added weapon that was supposed to open some things up. Hasn't happened at all. They had Latavius Murray getting the rock because I think Cook went for -4 yards last week. But it's like, Cook is a monster.
Cook got some good runs.
It's good, but like I feel like
they fed Latavius was in for everything. He's the starter. He was in third down. It's like, okay, I didn't know we just made the transition here to Latavius Murray being the starter. I guess that's what happens when you rush 5 rushes for -4 yards last week, which is what James Cook did. But like, Cook got in there, got the rock, and he was explosive again. And then they just sit him to the side. Not your time. You had your chance. It's just a lot of interesting shit with the Buffalo Bills.
When they lose, it feels like Diggs still gets his. Like, he's gotten his pretty much all year. I think he had 10 for 100-something last night, and last week he had over 100 too. Like, when they lose, Diggs still gets his, but it's like when they win, everyone's getting involved. So I don't know if that's a thing. And like I thought personally they would bounce back last night after sleepwalking through Europe last week or London, whatever, last week. But they did the same exact thing 2 weeks in a row, which that was kind of concerning to me.
It seems like they play to the level of their competition. Like, whereas like these really good teams will go out and just like, if you're supposed to win, like they'll beat the hell out of teams. Like, for whatever, like that Dolphins game, everyone's talking about like, hey, their offense is so good. They're the new kings in your division, and they go out and absolutely wax them. And it seems also with like Diggs, like to Tone's point, that they struggle to move the ball if they're not going to him. Like when Gabe Davis has great games, like he's catching long touchdowns, but they don't have a guy for whatever reason that they can go to like consistently move the ball if he's not just going to Diggs every single play, it seems like.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by the Bills, genuinely. It is a very fascinating thing because for 3 years now, I guess 4 years now. Is that how long it's been?
Yeah, since 2019, basically, because that was the last year of Brady.
So we'll say 3. We'll say 3 then to give them a year to cook there. For the last 3 years, every year, it's like this team can go. And they get a win, and we're still like, what is wrong? Now let's talk about a team that got a loss yesterday. And they're not the only ones. Could you fathom this New York Jets team with Aaron Rodgers?
No.
Oh, my God.
They talk about Denver Broncos. They said they were just one quarterback away from being a Super Bowl winning team. This happened a couple years back whenever Aaron was potentially going to get traded to the Denver Broncos after Nathaniel Hackett was named the head coach over there. There was rumblings that, hey, you get Aaron over here, go and win a Super Bowl. Then they get Russ over there, go and win a Super Bowl. That has not been the case. And there's rumblings right now, rumors. Rumors. I don't want to talk about it too loud because who knows what's real and what isn't, but like the Broncos might be making a change at D.C. allegedly.
What?
Whoa!
I don't know when. I'm just getting messages sent to me. You know what I mean? And it might be Might be old good teeth himself.
No.
Is that right?
Rex Ryan, potentially.
What?
Really?
That name has been in the radar, I guess, for a potential return to defensive coordinating.
Really?
And that team potentially to the Denver Broncos, allegedly. Now, we work for ESPN, so everybody's going to think that we heard this from within ESPN. Remember, we're in Indianapolis. Everybody else is in New York and Bristol. This is not from anybody within ESPN. This is just what people are hearing around the league. They're hearing like, hey, they're thinking about making a change, and they're thinking about going big. And I had the opportunity whenever I was working to get up to chit-chat with Rex Ryan, the human, in the green room. And I'll tell you what. Love him. Love everything about him. I think he's hysterical. I think he'd be great on the internet, although he wouldn't be able to really do the internet because his first couple of days would be real loud.
Yeah.
So I think they would probably tell him not to be there. But I asked him, I'm like, when are you getting back into coaching? And he said how much fun he was having on TV. And also, like, for him to get back into coaching, he's probably going to have to do a coordinator job. And with what he makes TV-wise and how his life is versus the business side of potentially getting back into coaching, it's like, well, the Denver Broncos have the wealthiest owner in all of NFL. Yeah. They can pay a little bit more for the coach's salary because there's no coaching salary cap. So I guess we should potentially think about maybe Rex Ryan returning, and him and Sean Payton being on the same coaching staff is a hilarious thing to just chat about and to think about. I think that would change the team around. I think that would change the dynamics. I think they would be good. But the Broncos were not a team that was one quarterback away from winning a Super Bowl. The Jets, though, I think we're watching every single week, and we're realizing they potentially were one quarterback away from winning a Super Bowl. They had that quarterback. That quarterback only lasted for 4 plays this season, which is absolutely devastating to all parties. Just 34 days later, though, he's already back on the field throwing. So if this team can continue to survive, I know this dude has had the thought of returning this season. I know other people have said that he has had the thought of returning this season. He's not putting any timelines on anything, but I don't think you're supposed to be able to do that after tearing your Achilles in week 1, here in week 6. So congrats to him getting after it. Now, we're saying they're one player away from winning a Super Bowl because of how damn good their defense is. Here's Robert Saleh after the game talking about the beatdown of the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts' worst performance as an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, thought defense, per the usual, outstanding. Through these first 6 weeks, we've played a gauntlet of quarterbacks. And I know we haven't gotten all wins, but we've embarrassed all of them. And just really, really proud of the defense and its resolve. Thought Brick and the staff had an excellent game plan. Down 3 corners, 4 of our 6 corners. I thought our D-line was good in terms of keeping that kid in the pocket. He's a handful. Hurts, their O-line, the receivers. Thought our guys battled all the way through. Proud.
I love the way Saleh's talking his shit right now. I also appreciate the fact that in Hard Knocks we learned that Saleh very much understood that, hey, our defense is going to be good. We just need the offense to do something. He even said in Hard Knocks, in spite of you guys, to the offensive line and the offense. We still won 7 games last year. Okay, we still won 8 games last year. So with Aaron, we're going to be able to do our thing. And I appreciate that he takes a lot of pride in the fact that they do well. The reason why he has that job is because the San Francisco 49ers defense was so damn good. But whenever you say we faced a gauntlet of quarterbacks this year thus far, and we've embarrassed all of them, he's putting his on the table, saying we ain't worried about a damn thing. But here, let's dive into the stats a little bit. Took on Josh Allen, obviously, week 1. He had a 62.7 quarterback rating whenever he threw 3 interceptions. Remember, we wondered if this Buffalo Bills team was going to be god-awful because of how Josh and that offense performed against the New York Jets, who started out undefeated after losing Aaron Rodgers on the 4th play. Week 4, they take on Patrick Mahomes. Now, although the Chiefs won, if you remember, there was a lot of talk after that Patrick Mahomes game. We're like, that's the worst that Patrick Mahomes has ever played in the NFL. He was giving away picks, they said. He was doing this. Well, maybe the defense was forcing that to happen. And then you look at what happened just yesterday with Jalen Hurts in this Philadelphia Eagles team. Jalen looked nothing like the Jalen Hurts that we have seen since he's become the starter for the Philadelphia Eagles. There's 3 interceptions there. There's also a fumble on there. And at the end of the game, he had an easy first down to move the sticks on 3rd and whatever, 4th and whatever, and he chooses to throw it to a defensive team meeting. He was completely broken mentally. That's going to happen in the NFL in a 17-game season. I am not worried about Jalen Hurts, but whenever you start looking at these numbers and you got a head coach talking his shit, that's for good reason. If Aaron was playing for this team with the weapons that they have in this defense production against these quarterbacks already this season, I mean, they're winning a Super Bowl. And that was the hype before the season.
Yes, it was.
And it turns out that was 100% accurate, and the Jets fans just continue to have the Jets fans' luck of losing the one thing that they need on a season that was supposed to be destined for greatness, Steve.
Yeah, man. That we talked about the Browns defense earlier, and that performance they had yesterday, this one was even more impressive because talking about being down your top 3 corners, like that completely usually
no
changes.
excuses, he said.
No excuses, absolutely. But that completely usually changes your game plan because you don't want to leave your corners out there on the island, which they did. They left them a lot single high out there where they had to hold up on their own. A.J. Brown had a big game, but you're talking about 3 touchdowns and 8 picks with those 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Like all 3 levels, once again, up front. Second level with Mosley and Quinnen Williams, and then the third level with those guys, flying around. Just an unbelievable job by this Jets defense.
Here's some interesting stats from Hembo about the Jets defense. The Jets have allowed 1 touchdown post-halftime this entire year. Okay, so the halftime adjustments that are happening in that office or in that room, great. That's 37 drives. They've only allowed 1 touchdown. Shout out to Hembo for that. The Eagles dropped back to pass 73% of the time yesterday. Okay, max for Jalen in a game last year was 65%. The Jets have only lost a turnover battle once in 6 games. Would anybody have signed up for that with Zach Wilson if they knew he was going to be the quarterback? Yes, they absolutely would have. And also, Zach Wilson has outplayed Mac Jones, not just this year, but the last 2 years. Here's another stat about Jalen and that Jets defense. Jalen Hurts was pressured 20 times yesterday, 6 more than any game over the last 2 seasons. 17 out of 20 with a 4-man rush. Line got whooped, and the Jets' front 4 did their thing. So anytime your front 4 can get pressure, that means everybody else can sit back with eyes on quarterback and kind of pick the defense or pick Jalen Hurts apart. This Jets team, not only the D-line and Quinnen Williams getting a rock and getting loose with it, and I wish he would have scored so we could hear him talk about it afterwards and see what his dance was, but that Jets defense pummels people. And if I was Robert Saleh, and I think we judged him a little bit in Hard Knocks, whenever he was standing up there and he was looking at the offense and the offensive line, he was like, if you guys could figure it out, we could be great. And everybody's like, kind of disrespectful. To do that to the offensive line and the offense, especially in front of the whole team. It's like you're just sawing down a group. You're supposed to be a unifier. And then we start watching it, and it's like Robert Saleh is at the point where he's like, my defense is so good. So great. And now they're kind of getting the shine because they get a big win over the undefeated Eagles. But they made Jalen Hurts make bad decisions all day. And that has not been Jalen Hurts' MO. And Lane Johnson, we hope he'll get healthy, obviously, front of the program. And Jason Kelsey has like more starts than any human consecutive in the history of offensive line play. I'm not worried about the Eagles. I think it was an off night, but I think the reason why they had the off night is because the Jets defense forced an off night. And I am pumped if Aaron Rodgers, who looked comfortable, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
He looked chilling.
That was crazy.
So if he's in shotgun, and we'll talk to him tomorrow, a lot has been made of that.
Yeah.
I assume no one will watch. We won't be able to profit off it at all.
Nope.
Bummer.
So that'll be, nobody will watch, everybody will turn off. But if you see how comfortable he looked, it's like there's a world where you can put him in shotgun and he's not going to have to move as much. Now, obviously, he's going to have to be able to protect himself, and he's going to have to move, and who knows if he has any explosion at all off of that foot that has a torn Achilles just 30-some days ago. But he looks a lot more casual than we could have ever imagined. There's still 12 more weeks of the season.
A lot of time.
Okay? 3 or 4 weeks in a month. 12 weeks. There's 3 months left. He's 1 month out right there. We can safely assume, and we'll ask him tomorrow, that 1 month from now, he might be in a position where he can take a few snaps and get the ball out. If he comes back, leads this team, and this defense continues to get better, and they go on a run, boy, the haters are going to be so mad about what the Jets have cooking.
And there was a ton of people, probably me, one of them, who thought after those, the Dallas game, that Zach Wilson probably could not get them any wins until Aaron got back. But I think he's doing a really good job right now of just being smart with the football, getting it to Garrett Wilson when he's open, handing it off to Breece Hall every once in a while. And I think he's been the biggest difference so far because the defense has always been great, but him making smart, sound decisions and kind of moving them down the field a little bit is more than what they had before.
I like that he's showing signs of confidence that we saw in Hard Knocks whenever Aaron was around. Now, Aaron being back on a headset, allegedly he was saying some stuff. I don't know how many people can get to the quarterback. I think only one mic can get to the quarterback, but Aaron did have a with the cancer hat on, very bright. So I assume he was potentially adding in and helping out there, which is great news. But yeah, you're right. Zach Wilson's been playing not like, they're not winning because of Zach Wilson.
No, but they're not.
They're not losing because of Zach Wilson anymore.
More important.
Which I think is a big-time conversation in Zach Wilson's life.
Well, and I think a lot of people, with this show especially, anytime any of us post anything about Rodgers, it's, you're going to get all the stuff about us just holding his water and all that kind of stuff. But, after seeing that, it's not crazy. At the start of this, sure, okay, he's going to come back at the end of the season.
He was tripping on pain pills.
Exactly. Yeah. There's no way he should be. I mean, I don't care if it's just throwing. You can see he's kind of taking a little, a couple steps, and he doesn't look very ginger. There's no way he should be at where he's at right now. I really do think, and I'm not just saying that, he is going to play this year.
Joining us now is a man who might have the answers to that particular question. He's a senior NFL insider, friend of the program, absolute legend, Michigan man, Adam Schefter. Schefter,
happy Monday morning to you.
Hey, happy Overreaction Monday to you as well. Let's stay in that particular department because going into the season, we said the Jets are going to win the Super Bowl. That's what everybody was saying. Hard Knocks was awesome. It was like a propaganda machine pretty much for the Jets and for everything they got cooking. And then there was obviously a loud crowd that was can't wait to see the Jets do what the Jets always do, which is blow it. Now, the Jets didn't, but an Achilles on the fourth play ruins it all. Now we're seeing them not only beat the Eagles, but how that defense has gone against Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts. It's like this team was built to win a Super Bowl if they had a quarterback that could take them there. Now, Zach's not losing games, which is great, but is Aaron legitimately coming back? What are you hearing from behind the scenes? Because that video we saw of him throwing, he looked very comfortable, Shefty.
Well, let's be very clear. Look, he's been on your show. He's on your show regularly, and he's made it very clear that it's his mission to be back as soon as he possibly can. So we're going to take him for his word that he's pushing and doing everything that he can to get back as soon as possible. When you see the images of him on the field throwing the football like that, it raises the hope of everybody that roots for that team and really around football that he can make it back sooner rather than later. I think what he's trying to do is historic and unprecedented. I think the soonest we've seen a player come back was Cam Akers. He played running back. He did it in about 4.5, 5 months. Aaron did it on September 11th, right? So we just extrapolate. Let's say it takes him 4 months, Pat, 4 months, which would be incredible. October, November, December, January 11th. Could he do it in 3 months? I've never heard of that. I know he's trying things and doing things that have never been done, and I wouldn't put anything past the guy, and I'd love to see him do it. I just think that would be wild.
Yeah.
But again, when you see him, that raises the hope. As soon as I saw him, I'm like, oh, everybody's going to be asking me now. That's all I'm going to be getting.
First question.
Is he coming back soon? Can he make it back soon? As soon as you saw those images, that was the deal.
Well, he looks casual. You talk about the running back coming back in 4.5, 5 months. There is a world where you park his ass in shotgun and you just kind of let him do his thing. Now, he's going to have to move, obviously going to have to be able to protect himself on a football field, and they won't let him out there until he does it. But how calm, no pain at all. There was not even a grimace on his face. I guess those Dolphins, remember, he's been hanging out Achilles over the Dolphins that have been doing their thing. Let's dive into some other injuries that took place yesterday. Wild day in the NFL, especially whenever it comes to injuries. Let's start in San Francisco. Deebo Samuel's shoulder, I guess they're saying he's going to be okay. Trent Williams' ankle happens earlier. He has a boot on. He ends up coming back. This one right here, though, Florio last night said they're being very discreet about CMC's oblique. Does that mean it's more serious, less serious? What are we hearing about Christian McCaffrey, Shefty?
It's not that they're being discreet. It's that's the way that Christian McCaffrey operates with injuries. He's like a military operative that doesn't ever want to share anything and doesn't want anyone to know anything about what's wrong with him. So it's going to be difficult to tell. Look, we know he's dealing with an oblique. I'm going to guess that he's going to see some specialists today. I don't think that he or they know right now whether he'll miss a game, 2 games, any games at all. I think they're trying to figure out exactly what that oblique injury is right now. And again, that's part of the problem on some of these injuries is, everybody says they're okay, and then they're not once they get the MRI. or they want me to early injury updates to me. It's a little premature on these things. Let's wait till we get some more clarity and they can figure out what's wrong with them. Christian McCaffrey, again, I think we'll be seeing some people today to figure out if and how much time he'll be missing due to this oblique injury. And yes, he will, as he always has, guard these things with his life because he doesn't want anyone to know anything about his body and where to target anything.
What's the fear? Do you know the panic meter or fear level though? So we can at least get a little bit of a heads up because that team without Christian McCaffrey, buddy, not good. Not good news. Now's not the time to be losing Christian McCaffrey, especially with how great he's been playing.
Well, they've always been good. They were good without him, but they are all world with him. And so I think, they could survive and they could lean on Elijah Mitchell and Jordan Mason and Tyrion Davis-Price. They'll figure it out and make it work, but the offense wouldn't operate and function at the same level without the guy that arguably was the MVP of the first 5 games of the season. He's incredible. So they have to figure out what's wrong with them. The fear factor, I can't give you one because they're trying to figure it out.
Okay.
So I don't know what it is right now. It's an oblique. He came back in. He couldn't finish. Not a good sign. And so I guess there's some question as to whether he'll be ready for Monday night at the very least. How about that?
Okay. All right. Okay. There is some question. That is a little. Fear's about a 6 or 7 right now.
Yeah, good.
But we don't have any. We don't have any results. Okay, we appreciate that. Let's move to another team that had got upset yesterday by the Jets. Lane Johnson with an ankle. That's a big deal. I do believe. What do we know about that injury? And have we got any updates on Big Lane?
I was told last night it's not serious. Now, again, it's very easy for somebody else to say when somebody else is dealing with a high ankle that it's not serious. Limped off the field. The guy is an extraordinarily tough guy. Plays offensive line. It's not like he has to run around like A.J. Brown or DeAndre Swift. Could he miss time? Absolutely. Would he miss as much time as a guy at another position? Probably not. We'll see how that goes out. But the text I got last night was it was better than they thought. And they hope he's going to be okay, and we'll see.
Okay, let's shout Lane. He's a dog. Yep. He'll be back. Quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders. He ends up in an ambulance to a hospital with a back injury. He obviously looked like he was in a lot of pain. Do we have any update on Jimmy G? And is this Hoyer's team for the foreseeable future?
What I was told last night was they took him there for precautionary measures. Now, it seems a little weird to me that you get in an ambulance to go to a local hospital for precautionary measures, but that is how it was described to me. Obviously had to leave the game, looked uncomfortable leaving the field. Brian Hoyer came on and helped lead them to victory against his former team. And, Jimmy just has a series of things that unfortunately have gone wrong for him. And so if it's a back and it's a veteran and he's at the hospital, even for precautionary reasons, they're running tests, they're speaking to people. We'll see whether that translates into missing more time. Don't know yet. But again, it was supposedly just precautionary.
Very scary situation here in Indy. Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Schefter, I think it was you that tweeted that there's a chance that Anthony Richardson, they might end up just shutting him down for the whole season. I think he got like 5 different opinions on his situation. What's the likelihood that actually happens, especially given what happened Sunday in Jacksonville? And when might we get an idea or like an actual decision on that?
I think we'll get one here in the next couple of days. And Shane Steichen last week said that one of the options was season-ending surgery. And so we'll see whether that is one of the options that they go forward with. What's interesting here, and I've gone back and forth with some medical specialists on this, right? Initially, it was reported to be a grade 3 sprain, but you wouldn't have to do surgery on a grade 3 sprain. So if they're going to do surgery, then why are they doing that? Was there something wrong in the shoulder before? So there's a lot of medical questions that, quite honestly, my background is not trained in the expertise of what's wrong with the shoulder and the ligaments and grade 3s and grade 2s. So I can only speak on a layman's common person level to say that if it was a grade 3 sprain, then he wouldn't ordinarily need shoulder surgery. And they also keep saying that the tests came out better than they thought, that the shoulder injury wasn't as bad, that it might be just a grade 2. And if it was grade 2, then why they operate? So the whole thing is a little bit medicine. But here's what I will say also. I think that the Colts are being intentionally very deliberate.
Is it the Colts? Or because I thought the way it was reported is like Anthony Richardson is potentially choosing or opting to do the season-ending surgery. It's the Colts?
I think they're doing this together. And I think the Colts are being very deliberate because they're haunted by the memories of another injured quarterback and making sure that everything went well there. And sometimes with Andrew, I think maybe they felt like, okay, we rushed him back or we didn't have the answers we wanted. And I think whatever happened and transpired between them and their former quarterback, I believe has influenced the very slow, methodical approach that they're using here to make sure that they don't rush into judgment on anything and that they get everything as right as they possibly can.
I can respect that. I honestly can. It does scare the hell out of me, though, if he opts for the surgery, because the way he was reading is like Anthony was choosing to basically do a potential season-ending surgery, and it's like, damn, already? Like, hey, I'm out of here? And then Gardner Minshew goes and has his worst game he's had as an Indianapolis Colt, but he was jacked up. He was jacked up. Playing his old team down there, that's okay.
Up, yeah.
So it's like, that is a big worry. That was a big worry as I read it. Like, he's choosing to end his season? Or
I think they're in this together and trying to figure out what the best course of action is. And, you know, he had a tough few beginnings here where 4 of the 5 games he didn't finish because of injuries, various injuries, 4 or 5. So it was a tough start, and I think they want to make sure he's right. Whether that necessitates surgery or not, we'll see.
All the tests have come back negative, though, after all of these things, 4 out of the 5.
Well, they say they came back better than they thought. That's why it's a little odd to me.
Yeah, but the knee one, the first one was a knee, came back test negative, didn't miss anything. Then there was, I believe, the concussion.
Mm-hmm.
But he played a series, I think, after that, and then he went out. And then now it's this, and it's like the tests were negative, came back better than we thought. It's like, damn, what the hell? We hope. Hey, AR, hope you're all right.
Good luck, AR.
Hope you're all right. Hey, I'm scared to death, though. We're just choosing to end the season, week 6. You know, the guy had like 4 touchdowns in 2 weeks.
It got to be something. I never heard. I can't even remember somebody getting a surgery for AC sprain or.
That's what I'm saying. It's weird. It's weird. It's off.
I'd say very weird. And then the Deshaun Watson, he's back next week, we assume? Is that what we're thinking? Do they got to buy or?
They think there's a chance. I'm not telling you he's going to be back. We'll see. They're coming off the bye. They played San Francisco. They ruled him out on Friday. And the way it was described to me by a few different people was he's got a chance. Doesn't mean he plays next week. He might not, right? But he's dealing with a subscapularis, if I pronounced that correctly.
Got it, baby.
Subscapularis muscle in his shoulder that basically prevents him from getting the power he needs to drive the football. And so it's a situation. Oh, by the way, I love this. You know, it just tells you, Pat, how heavily watched your show is because I'm getting a little medical update on Anthony Richardson.
Here we go.
Grade 3 could warrant surgery. Doesn't always need it. Depends on what exactly the problem is. Grade 2 is where it means the ligaments aren't totally torn and surgery is more puzzling. But if he has some specific issues related to past history, his anatomy, something, he might end up with a surgical procedure. And of course, you want to find out more at that point. It's confusing, but hopefully we'll get some clarity. So somebody's watching and somebody's texting me that.
Somebody smart's watching, which we could have never expected. Somebody that had the answer, like that's surprise of the year there. Right about that. But anyways, that sounds like a dog.
You know, we get medical updates and we get pronunciations of names as the program unfolds in real time. That's how this show works.
Yeah, it's live TV, baby. That's live TV. AR, we hope you're okay, though. Anyways, Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Schefter, just future reference. It's program, not program. But there's a pretty big...
Program.
There you go. Yep, nailed it. There's a big story coming out of New England, and it is not about how bad the football team is, even though that is the truth. But Bill Belichick, allegedly on the hot seat. Is this something that you are hearing? I know Robert Kraft has come out and people are saying it is not something that he has completely shied away from. But do you see Bill Belichick getting fired? And if he is going to get fired, is it GM and Coach Belichick getting fired? Is it GM getting fired? Or is it Coach getting fired?
Well, first of all, I think he's treated differently, as he should be, than any other coach, on a Monday or a Sunday night after a season ends, we'll get 3, 4, 5, 6 firings of head coaches. And I just don't think you're going to get one of these statements on the last regular season game that Sunday night where the Patriots have fired Bill Belichick. I just don't think it works like that when there's the history and the accomplishments and the resumes and the relationship that there's been between he and Robert Kraft. And so this situation is treated entirely differently. And they're having the type of season that's going to lend those types of questions, and everybody's going to wonder exactly how the situation is going to play out. Because nobody thinks that they can continue just like this with the team reeling in a way that we're not used to seeing, with the offense struggling in a way we're not used to seeing, with the team performing in a way we're not used to seeing. This is so abnormal for a team that has been the best team arguably in all of sports over the last couple of decades. So Bill is, I think, 71, 72 years old, and everybody wants to see change, and he has been the guy at the top. Look, I just think that there are going to be some hard conversations that naturally occur between he and Robert Kraft, and where those go, I don't know. Is Bill going to want out? Are they going to want him out? Are they going to decide to mutually end it together? Like, there are a whole bunch of questions about how it will go on. But
was that Robert Kraft texting you right there? Was that Robert Kraft texting you right there?
Yeah, he said, we'll get to this in due time. Again, this is how we work. We bring up topics, and then people can text in like first-time caller, long-time listener kind of thing.
We love that. Hey, if that's what our show becomes, we are completely okay with that.
Cool. Yeah.
But Teddy Bruschi said something fascinating. Teddy Bruschi was like, you think Bill
I was sitting next to him, and it was unbelievable. Yeah.
He was like, you think Bill Belichick wants to play these games? This isn't what Bill Belichick. Everybody's talking about them firing Bill Belichick, and it's like, does Bill Belichick want to continue to do this down this path there? But he still has that head coaching wins record, right? That is within grasp, we would assume. So is there a world that you could see where he ends up the head coach of another team? Like, is that something?
Well, the thing with him is, and that's what I was saying with Teddy. We were talking before the show yesterday, and we knew this topic was going to come up. And Teddy said to me before the show what he did. He's like, maybe it's time for Bill to step away. And I said, his life is all about football. Like, what? I can't see him not being involved in one way or another. He just lives it, loves it, and it's part of his soul.
Come to Green Bay, Bill.
Jeez.
I don't know. So what does he do? Like, if he's not coaching the New England Patriots, like, I don't see Bill Belichick retiring to go play golf in Florida.
We'd make him an offer. I'd make him an offer to join this show every single day, obviously.
He'd be outstanding. The morning of the Super Bowl, the year after they won their first one in 2001, the next year, whoever played in the Super Bowl, I don't think they were playing. And Bill Belichick wrote an op-ed piece in the New York Times counseling the coaches in the Super Bowl about what they would experience if they won or lost the game. And it was one of the great op-ed columns that I've read. And it showed a side of him that I think a lot of people don't know or realize exists. He is very thoughtful. He is very...
He did that top 100 with Rich Eisen. He did that top 100 with Rich Eisen.
Fantastic,
it was fantastic.
Yeah, that was dope.
Automatically assumed.
That's him.
But he's going to get that coaching record, right? Isn't that what we all think he's coaching this for, is to go get that head coaching wins record? And it's like, is there a chance, it sounds like there is a chance where this could happen, where Kraft and he decide it's no longer right here, it is worn out, and he potentially, because the only way to get that record is he has to be a head coach somewhere else. And how many years until he gets it? Like 3-4, right?
Yeah, it's 3 or 4 years. He's at 299 right now. I believe it is in the 340s, 330s. But I always
I think he's like 17 wins away, something to that effect.
The combined of regular season and playoffs. But there's also the record where it's just regular season. But to what Teddy Bruschi said, we talk to Michael Lombardi every week, and Michael Lombardi has been reiterating for a couple of years now. Actually, Bill loves the process, so I do understand he plays for Super Bowls and division championships and all that. But Michael Lombardi has also been very adamant about the fact that he loves the day-to-day.
A lot of this, Bill, this year. A lot of
that.
A lot of this, Bill.
Hey, let me tell you something. Hey, Pat, what was the worst record you ever had on a season with the Colts?
2-14. Got us Andrew Luck.
Those kinds of years are just brutal and miserable to get through. It is no fun for anybody for weeks and months at a time, right? Like, they are off. I remember covering the Broncos back in 1991 or 2. They were like 4-12, and it was just miserable. It's horrendous to be around something like that, right?
Well, everybody thinks they're going to get fired. Every player is trying not to put out bad film. Even the chefs think they're going to get fired. It's just a miserable existence, and I can see how Bill would certainly hate it. But it is a fascinating future because he is GM, he is head coach. GM Bill has not done great over the last
2 years,
5 years. Head coach Bill has not done great. Remember, he put the special teams coordinator and the defense coordinator and offensive coordinator last year. So it's just like, wow.
GM Bill has hurt Coach Bill. Coach Bill is Coach Bill. Coach Bill is arguably the greatest coach of all time. But GM Bill has hurt Coach Bill because they just don't have the same level of talent that other teams do right now for whatever reason.
It's interesting. I'm excited to see how Robert Kraft handles it because remember, he has been quoted at one point saying, I got to go fly back to New England to deal with the biggest asshole in my life. Bill Belichick, allegedly. Remember, that was when he was coming down an elevator in Vegas, I think. Somebody quoted him as saying that. That was when the whole Tom Brady and Bill have had a long relationship together that has done a lot of this. How will this...
Not just Anthony Richardson, but what's going on with Trevor Lawrence? It didn't really look like his knee injury was that bad yesterday, but then now there's a lot of blowback for Press Taylor for leaving him in there or kind of hanging him out to dry. It didn't look terrible, but is that a situation where he might miss a couple weeks now?
Well, they played this week, short week, Thursday night. So there's the first issue that comes up. He was going to have an MRI today. I have not gotten the results of the MRI. And until we see what that MRI says, it's hard to say how much time he'd miss. But he was hobbled. I didn't like how he went down. He grabbed that knee right away. It didn't look great, but he was able to get up and finish the game, so that was encouraging. They don't believe it's anything overly concerning right now, but again, we've heard that before. You just want to see how these things go on the MRI. I think what I would say right now, there's some concern about that knee, and let's see how the MRI goes.
Tone has a question for you.
Shefty, we are now 2 weeks away from the trade deadline, and after yesterday, there's a lot of teams probably looking in the mirror and saying, hey, this season might be a wash, and maybe we could get something worth a guy. Is there any buzz yet as far as potential players on the move in the next 2 weeks before the trade deadline?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think if you are the Denver Broncos, you've gotten calls because teams essentially think that you're going to be giving away players, and Denver's not going to give away anybody. But Denver's going to listen on just about anybody. And if somebody wants to offer draft picks to a player, then at that point in time, Denver will be willing to listen on just about anybody and make a trade if there's fair value. They're not just going to give away anybody. I think Carolina would deal some people.
Hey, let's stay in Denver real quick. There's rumblings, and I know you've heard them. Peer of yours, colleague of yours, defense coordinator for the Broncos. Is there going to be a change over there, mate?
Well, I don't think they're doing anything right now, but I think at the end of the season, anything is possible. Yeah, they're not looking to do anything right now.
Sexy Rexy Ryan? Is that who you're hearing as well?
Oh, no, no. In fact, Rex is not going to Denver right now.
Come on. Damn. I had a couple people tell me that this morning. There was a chance that he was going to get approached or targeted by them.
And you know who my source is there on that?
Who's that?
Rex.
Oh.
we were talking about it yesterday as we were watching the games. He's not going to Denver right now. By the way, and I said to him, I go, do you ever stop and think about this? Like, he was one of 2 finalists for the Broncos defensive coordinator job. I said, that could be you there right now. You could be going through this season instead of sitting here eating cheeseburgers with me, watching football on the big screens here in Bristol, Connecticut. And I think he's very thankful that he's in the spot he is. I don't think that the coaching bug is out of him. I wouldn't be shocked if one day he did it again. He loves that. Like, coaches love to coach. The coaches who love it, they love it, Pat, right?
Yes.
That's why, like Bill Belichick, football, like I said, is a part of what he does. And Rex loves to coach. Could he go back to that one day? That would not surprise me. But right now, his job is with ESPN, and he does a great job of that. And so I love working with him as a teammate.
I love the fact that there is a chance that behind the scenes people were like, how the hell do we get Rex Ryan out eating cheeseburgers with Schefter? And how do we get him back into coaching?
Be tough. He goes, where are these people getting me going to Denver? I'm not going to Denver. I'm like, okay, well, there you go.
Well, I think the thing is, like, they can afford anybody over there because there's no salary cap for coaches, obviously. So,
yeah, but why would he leave ESPN, TV land right now to go jump in on, what's their record, 1-5?
Yep.
Yeah,
Why
that'd
would
be
you
tough.
do that?
I didn't understand that one either as well. As to be clear, did not understand that. But they're thinking that Denver is going to be targeting him heavily, though. And
that may be a different story, but he's not going there right now. After the season, will there be teams that go to him and talk to him about a job? There are almost every year. Would Denver be amongst them? Why wouldn't it be? He was one of 2 finalists last year. Is he going to go to Denver after the season? I can't speak for him. I don't know that. But he's gonna consider all these coaching offers.
Got it.
And he's very happy doing what he does.
Hell yeah, he's
and
great.
You know what? Like with anything, with anybody, if somebody wants you enough, they make you feel it. So if somebody makes him feel wanted enough, and whether that's financially or in another way, could I see him going back to coaching one day? That's always been the case.
That might be what this is.
Yeah.
Hey, we're in on the Rex sweepstakes. I cut you off there. You talked about the Broncos being for sale for sure if players before the trade deadline. I think you were going to say Carolina. I don't know.
Carolina would be sellers. Look, there are teams that are going to lose games now that thought they were going to be competitive. Like Arizona, I think would listen on a lot of players and be willing to deal certain guys. We could go through the list. You just look at any team right now with one win.
New England.
You feel the prospects of the season and you just say, okay, well, would they be sellers? And I think, for the right price, any team would move somebody just about.
Got it.
Okay, there we go. Okay, I could see Arizona dealing players. I could see Carolina dealing players. This is
Chicago. Look at Chicago. All right, we get it.
Chicago.
All right, sweet.
Absolutely Chicago.
All right,
I'm not bad.
Yeah, we only got a couple of minutes. We're done with you just saying, the teams that stink are going to be sellers. There's no information coming. Darius has a question about tonight, though. We got to pivot to this evening's Monday Night Football game. Two great teams playing.
What do we got? I know Eckler, I saw he was completely off of the injury report going into tonight. Is he completely healthy? And then Justin Herbert's finger, is it all the way back? I know it was an ugly injury there, but any other injuries tonight, Cowboys or Chargers?
Eckler's off the report. Now, again, are they going to give him his full workload? I don't know about that, but he's going to be involved heavily. Of course, he's a tremendous running back, and they're going to use him quite a bit, and he feels ready to go. And Austin Eckler knows his importance to the team and the fantasy community, so he'll be out there doing his thing. Justin Herbert, I'm curious about that. Like I said to you, if that injury had occurred and they had a game last week, would he have been able to play and been completely unaffected by a dislocated finger on his non-throwing hand? He's worn a glove at practice, so he's going to be out there. He's going to be playing. I just don't know how much of an impact or influence, if any, that injury will have for him. So we'll see about that.
All right. Well, what else should we be looking for tonight that we haven't brought up? Anything?
Well, I think when teams get embarrassed the way that the Cowboys did last week, for them to come out and play 2 stink bomb games in a row would shock me. Like, I just think they're going to come out tonight and we're going to get the Dallas Cowboys A game. And so we'll see how that goes. And
allegedly, I seen a stat, Cowboys 9-1 after a loss since 2021 with Big Mike McCarthy.
Well, there you go.
So that's a hell of a stat we shall see. Schefty, we appreciate the hell out of you. We'll watch you on TV tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, senior NFL insider for ESPN, the man who knows it all, Adam Schefter.
Schefter.
All right, we're about to hit a hard out here in this first hour. Got a lot of information, but next to none as well.
Yep.
There were some things where he was dancing around, like the trade thing. Like, if your team stinks, they're going to be sellers. But I do believe the trade deadline for the NFL is heating up over the last couple of years as the NBA has done the same. People have seemingly got more eager and excited to make plays than they have in the past, as opposed to just going to the dance with the people you have now. A lot of teams say, we're like 2 pieces away. Let's go ahead and try to make this happen. I like that. It's going to heat up, we think. And he says the teams that suck are certainly for sale. Not a bad little stat to think about as we look at teams around the league who want to make a run. But who are they? Everything got flipped upside down yesterday. We'll be joined by AJ Hawk and Kyle Van Noy on the other side of this break. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Take 3. There is a crowd of about 30 people moving through the back end of the business field here. And in the middle of it is this black Samoan man who has become the most famous human on earth.
Great guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the GOAT, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. There's thousands and thousands of people skipping class to come see your big ass.
Listen, there is thousands and thousands of you skipping class. It doesn't matter if they go to class.
Moana is one of the best animated films of all time.
What?
Okay, can't wait for the live action.
Thank you, yes.
But
You're welcome.
We talk about Mana,
What can I say except you're welcome?
and we talk about Mana.
Honestly, listen, kid, I could go on and on. I could explain every natural phenomenon. The tide, the grass, the ground. Oh, that was Maui just messing around. I couldn't have buried its guts, sprouted a tree, now you got coconuts. What's the lesson? What is a takeaway? Don't mess with Maui when he's on a breakaway. And the temperature here on my skin is a map of the victories I win. Look where I've been to make everything happen. Look at the me, Maui just tickety-tapping. That's it.
Still got it.
On the Samoan side, Polynesian side, we have a word called mana. Mana is spirit. Mana is power. Mana comes from in here. It's the thing that gives you goosebumps. It's that thing you feel. It's that thing when I walked out and we felt this thing. This is mana. This is mana. It's very, very, very real, and you could feel it. Mwah. Little things like I don't get driven anywhere. I don't want to get driven anywhere. I don't like chauffeurs. Keeps me in my way just a little grounded. Like I could drive myself everywhere and not telling some guy, hey, take me here, take me there.
That is something I'm going to start saying, like, yeah. Because when they open your door, you feel so bad. I can open my own door, dude. They're trying to be courteous. It's their job. But also, the day I stop opening my own door is the day I become a big old bitch.
Here we go.
That's a big cup. Sorry, Mike.
And here's the iconic sound. You guys know it. This special Terramana toast goes out to Passion. Congratulations on your show. Very proud of you. Very proud of all you boys. And to all of you, love you guys. Thank you for the support. Keep kicking ass. Cheers. In my world, when I sit down and we're talking about movies and all this other shit, it's never this. It's never this, back with the boys, and you. So I appreciate it, and this one's to you. Thank you, boys.
See you, pal. Cheers.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a 5-minute break here.
Oh, hold on, one more. If you're some...
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey, what? Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pig! Damn it!
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this Overreaction Monday, October 16th, 2023, hour 2 of this program starts now.
Football!
Happened in a beautiful way this weekend. Both Saturday's slate was electrifying, and then NFL Week 6 Sunday slate was upside down. Week 6 will wrap up this evening as the Chargers and the Cowboys will battle on primetime Monday Night Football with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman on the call. Joining me, the Talks the Table, at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Sweet drafts.
Yeah, thank you, Pat. You know, long neck, long game. That's what we're in it for in life, especially in this football.
They say some stuff is as high as a draft something, and that's been said to me a lot of times. Shout out to the draft being an awesome animal.
Oh, yeah.
And also, they don't mess around. When they start throwing that big-ass head around, I went to a little safari zoo thing where they had a bunch of these. One of them was pissed.
Is that right?
And he started doing the
want
whole.
that.
He was fighting? Or?
Yeah, and everybody talks about the little things on the top and the way they kind of latch their neck and draft the shit out of somebody. They also can boom. They got a horse kick as well. People forget about that because you see the neck and the head so high, and they eat grass, they don't or eat leaves, they don't really eat. You think these are little soft animals?
No.
Not only will the top of their dome break your skull, but also they got a kick that'll make you weak in the leg. Drafts are badass.
Yeah, they're huge.
Drafts are bad. Now, not easy to disguise. You see them.
That's right.
Whenever you see them,
long away.
You see the face, you see the body, you see the bottom. Big animals. To be able to survive out there, you got to be dogs. Giraffes are. Shout out to you.
Yeah.
Elephant's my favorite safari animal, but giraffe's not too shabby.
Elephant's definitely up there. No doubt about it. Hyena. You ever seen a hyena before?
Yeah, I think hyenas are a bunch of bitch-made cats. A lot of yapping.
Yeah, they're the
a lot of cowardice.
They're the
moves.
dirtbags of the.
Yeah.
They're the homeless people of the safari.
Yes.
Yeah, but a little bit more savage. I think, I've seen some over in Seattle. I don't know if they have the hyena mindset. The hyena mindset is one that we're going to get you whenever we can. Yeah. But I like the elephant just because.
Brain.
Never forget.
Yeah,
petty, too. Allegedly, they're very petty.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate that. And just the pure girth of those things.
Yeah, diesel.
You know what I mean? They're just walking around doing their thing.
Massive.
And every once in a while at a carnival or a fair, they just say, "No, we ain't doing this."
Not about that life.
Yeah, respect. And that big nose.
How about a hippo? Some of the most dangerous animals out there.
Hippo's a little aggressive. They need to smoke a little dope. Hippos need a little bit more. Same with the rhinoceros.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They need to do their thing.
Rest in peace.
Cheetah's sweet. What it's been able to do to the NFL has been awesome. Tyreek is unstoppable.
Yeah.
So shout out to the Cheetahs.
What about the
as
king?
Well. The lion? I don't. It's the queen, I think,
The
is the real
lioness
one.
is the
The
dog.
lioness is the hunter.
The queen is the boss of the whole thing.
That dog will hunt.
Yeah. You know how they talk about like white privilege, just like getting whatever you want because of who you are? That's how I feel about the male lion.
Yeah, lion privilege.
That big mullet thing.
2023, okay? Do a little work.
Yeah, go work, dude. You know what I mean? Yeah. Somebody needs. I'm actually kind of offended about how the king of the jungle operates.
Yeah, you should be.
Just nepotism so much. You think about what happened with Simba. I mean, just handed.
Oh, here you go.
Here
You're
you go.
kingdom now.
An asshole, too. Don't go here.
Yeah.
Don't go here. This is the only place you can't go. He's like, well, I'm going to be a king. I'm a prince. Just walks right in there.
Yeah.
What happens? Dead dad, whole thing.
Rest in
bro.
peace, Mufasa.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's nepotism. That's the problem with male lions.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And we are sick of it. How come nobody's picketing and we'll start it? That's one half of the hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys, he's a lion when it comes to picking picks.
right.
But he's not lying whenever he says that tonight he likes.
Charges.
Wow.
Tony.
Okay.
9-1, Mike McCarthy after a loss since 2021. 9-year NFL vet, super intelligent human being, host of the Man to Man podcast and everything DB. Ladies and gentlemen, Darius Butler. Joining us now from an attic in Ohio is a man who we will be doing our show live from his home state, a place where he has a tree because he was an All-American for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Currently one of the presidents of the state of Ohio. He's actually one of Ohio's finest award winners. My thing's in a full knot around this thing. I'm in a problem. I'm going to get rear naked choke from one of my necklaces. People will love to see it. Ladies and gentlemen, the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, AJ Hall.
Yeah.
AJ, I'm about to choke to death here because of my ear thingies with my thingy.
Was it because your multiple chains are tied up on it or what?
Yeah, well, I think my
Underneath it.
Oh, no, the horn's in the.
the horn, I got
pierced.
wrapped up in the thing. I'm about to get stabbed in the back of my spine. I got it.
Yep, there we go.
Boom.
I got it. That was very uncomfortable, though. I was getting stabbed. Speaking of uncomfortable, how do we feel about the Jets beating the damn Eagles and then the Browns beating the damn Niners? The Jets and the Browns are the two teams that ended undefeated streaks for this season. The 1972 Dolphins are thanking them. AJ, either one of those games you can lead off with, but let's start with Browns-Niners. What did you see from that Jim Schwartz-led defense in Cleveland that makes you go from 6 to midnight, pal?
I mean, everything about this defense. Jim Schwartz, you see, like you read all this stuff. I don't know if you've seen all the things. Like they have celebration loafs. If you don't celebrate another teammate's great big play, you'll get a celebration loaf, and that's one of the biggest issues they have. The worst things you can have when the coach grades your film, things like that. Yeah, I think they feel like when you have these gigantic physical monsters that are also very smart, and you have Jim Schwartz kind of putting them in positions to make plays. This is what we get. It seems like an impossible task to go against this Cleveland defense right now.
So we say that, and the Niners were still a 41-yard field goal away from winning that game, sneaking out of the Lake Town, flying back to San Fran as an undefeated squad. Purdy did look like a human. In the weather, ball slipped out, made some bad decisions. Just 1 week. He had one bad week. Literally his first loss in the regular season of him starting. His first poor performance, seemingly, as a quarterback in the NFL, because in the NFC Championship game, he got hurt so early, so we didn't even really get to see how he would perform in that moment. But he had his worst game by far as a 49er. I'm not worried, though. This happens, right? 17-game season, you're going to have a bad day every once in a while?
Long season, 17 games, and he faced a great defense playing very, very well in the elements. So, yes, it was a tough task, but like you said, they could have walked out with a win, and we would have said, here we go. They're Niners the Niners.
And another team that we've been saying basically all season, nobody's talking about them. It's kind of like Alabama, Georgia Eagles are undefeated, and it's just kind of like sneak by, sneak by, sneak by. Last night, they take on the Jets defense that has just done their thing to every quarterback except for Dak.
Yeah.
Seemingly every quarterback except for Dak this season, this defense has pummeled. They were legitimately one player away from winning a Super Bowl, and that player only lasted 4 plays. How do you feel about the Jets, and what did you see from Aaron yesterday that makes you think this dude's going to be back next week, maybe, AJ Hawk?
Yeah, obviously Aaron looks like he feels pretty good. It's not he's not trying to hide that he's walking pretty well and can sling the ball out there with those Adidas's on. They almost look like Hoka's a little bit with those big old soles on the bottom of them. But yeah, man, look at him. You'd have no idea. How many days ago did he have surgery?
34 or something like that, they said. I forget.
Oof. Yeah, I think he's feeling pretty good at where he is at, and I think this even gives him more motivation to continue the path that he is on.
So I thought the Hokas were on purpose, to get a little bit more pad for the Achilles.
Smart.
They are Adidas. He is an Adidas guy. Shout out to him for signing with that company instead of another one that makes much better products like Nike. But neither here nor there. He looked very comfortable if he was playing, and we have no sponsorship with anybody, so.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Whatever. Personal opinion.
Who
It's
cares?
true.
I'm just telling you about my life and how I live it. You could do your own same stuff. But whenever you see that Jets defense, and look at these numbers against Josh, Patrick, and now Jalen Hurts. Robert Saleh actually came out afterwards in his press conference and said, we've played a gauntlet of good quarterbacks and we've embarrassed them. And then you start looking at the stats, it's like, that's an accurate assessment.
Look at the picks, the turnovers are what I'm looking at right there.
3 interceptions, 2 interceptions, 3 interceptions against 3 of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. And you can add on another fumble for Jalen. I assume Josh and them had one as well. But they are a turnover machine, but they force these guys into playing bad. Everybody just thinks, oh, he had a bad night. Like Josh Allen in the beginning, we thought he was maybe going to stink for the rest of the season. Now they sneak away with a win over the Giants. Good for them. But you see Patrick Mahomes, you're like, oh, he had a bad night. It was just bad. Jalen Hurts, oh, he had a bad night. At some point, it becomes a trend and not just a coincidence. This Jets defense, what do they do that makes people have bad nights? And I think all the hype about them winning a Super Bowl, if Aaron Rodgers is their quarterback, was right. Like, I think it is 100% right with how good that defense is.
Oh, I mean, Jeff Ulbrich, their D coordinator, I love that guy. And I think they, every great team we talk about, they take on the persona of whoever their play callers might be. We think about Schwartz in the Cleveland defense. I think the same thing when I watch the Jets with Ulbrich, a tough, hard-nosed, super smart guy. But they have studs at every level. But they also seem to believe, hey, we can actually win football games this way. We're going to turn the ball over a bunch. We're going to pressure the quarterback, make him super uncomfortable, and turn them, make them think that they can't play anymore. And that's what I feel like the Jets are doing right now with multiple injuries still on this defense.
Jalen Hurts is making decisions that he wouldn't normally make. I mean, at the end of the game there, where he just threw it up into double coverage whenever there was a check down for a first down to extend the game and do your thing. That's not a normal Jalen Hurts move. I think there was numerous times last night where we say Jalen Hurts not act like Jalen Hurts. Yep. Patrick Mahomes didn't act like Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen didn't act like Josh Allen. That's something that I don't think many defenses have around the NFL, and the Jets certainly do.
And the Jets make you play their game. Like, the recipe for success for the Eagles is not Jalen Hurts dropping back and throwing 45 times.
73% of the
time. 40, that's not the recipe. So that's coming into the game sometimes, and I saw this with New England sometimes. Sometimes Bill would know, like, hey, we can't run the ball against this team, and that's kind of the case with them. They're not going to be able to run the ball, so regardless of how great a quarterback or a passing offense is, if you make them one-dimensional, even with some backups on that back end, it's much, much tougher. So the Jets are doing it, man.
Jets fans are watching this year. I don't know if it's better or worse, okay? So, Jets' lives for a long time is like the damn Jets. This is what it is. This is going to happen. We're going to lose somehow. It's going to be glorious for the other team. It's going to be horrendous.
I think of Greeny just being tortured.
And here's a video of Greeny last night after the last play where Jalen Hurts throws it into double coverage and the Jets basically lock up the win. Here's Mike Greenberg in a penthouse in New York City, sitting by himself while his family's still in the room. Don't come too close to me. I don't know how this is going to go. His expectation, and every Jets fan's expectation, is that the Jets are going to somehow mess this up. But instead, the complete opposite. Here's Greeny last night, video from his wife, Stacy. White pants, it appears. Hair looks sick.
Tucked in jersey.
Oh my God! Look how happy he is. Look how happy he is. Look how happy this guy is. They're living the high life right now.
Yep.
Just beat the Eagles. They're loving it. But then today comes, and the reality is, we just beat the Eagles.
Be undefeated.
If Aaron Rodgers was playing right now, we legitimately have a chance at winning the Super Bowl. And I know there's a thought like he'll come back later, and we hope he will. You're thinking he's coming back this season? After seeing him yesterday, I'm thinking he is.
I mean, after seeing yesterday, it sure feels like he might.
Okay, so we're thinking he comes back, but when will it be? Who knows? And then there's a thought, well, he'll be back again next year because he's nowhere near retiring, nowhere near done. He said that to us and many people. But it's like everybody knows the NFL changes your team changes every single year.
Yep.
This year, the way that team is flying around, it's like, damn. This could have been it for these Jets fans who have just had a cycle of misery for most of their lives and their livelihoods. And then you watch how it's like, it gets snatched from us once again, but he'll be back, Jets fans. You still got a shot. And I said, after Aaron's injury, after they beat the Bills, I said, I still think the Jets make the playoffs. Now, there was a couple weeks where we certainly doubted that.
Sure.
And we thought against the Cowboys, when Zach Wilson did what Zach Wilson did against the Cowboys, and against the Patriots, what happened when it happens. Yeah. But whenever you start watching them, it's like this team's going to sneak into the playoffs in the AFC somehow, where there's going to be a lot of teams that have losses. There's going to be 4 or 5 losses for a lot of teams that are getting in there, 6 losses for teams that get in there with how the parity of the AFC it's been. It's like the Jets have a chance to go on a run, and their fans are sitting here just still thinking about what could have been, and that has to suck a little bit as well.
For sure, but I think all things considered, I'm pretty sure they have a bye next week. If after the Rodgers thing happens right away in the first game of the season, if you would have told them, hey, you guys are going to be 3-3 going into the bye, coming off a win against the Eagles, like they'd be ecstatic. And that's even before you look at all the stuff with Rodgers, like, hey, he might actually come back. Because in the AFC right now, it's the Dolphins, it's the Chiefs. I mean, the Bills didn't look great last night. I guess you can put them up there too. But then after that, it's kind of wide open. Like it's a much different than I think we thought going into the year.
Let's talk about the Dolphins, shall we? One of D-Butt's 5 teams, and a lot of what's that?
Only 4.
Okay, one of his 4 teams around the NFL until one of those teams gets eliminated, and then there'll be maybe another team that we can fill that emotional hole in our heart for as we go forward. Let's talk about the Miami Dolphins. In the first quarter there, Bryce Young, Carolina Panthers did their thing. We thought maybe this is going to be a day. Thielen, who leads the NFL in certain stats, I forget what they are, but he's having a massive game. And in the first quarter, the Carolina Panthers literally were on full-on, we are going to ruin this Miami Dolphins celebration, greatest show on turf. And we thought to ourselves while we're watching it, maybe the Dolphins, maybe they're fugazi. And then the second quarter starts, first 2 drives, game's tied, and then all of a sudden, guess what? We're going to run away with this for the rest of the game. Tyreek Hill is still fast, and Waddle is still his guy. Mostert, I believe, has touchdowns in 11 touchdowns in like 6 games, which is only 3 people in the history of the NFL have done that. Tua is still as accurate as he's ever going to be. Slow start, kinda. First half, still go on a run, still steamroll the Carolina Panthers. So much so, by the way, that Frank Reich will no longer be calling plays for the Carolina Panthers. That duty has been passed over because Tyreek Hill's doing backflips because their offense is successful. After the first quarter yesterday and for most of this season, the Carolina Panthers offense has not been successful, but nobody's really been talking about the Miami Dolphins defense. Okay, what Christian Wilkins in the interior of that D-line can do. They got pressure right up the gut on Bryce Young, which is obviously a nightmare for him, but they have to keep up with the offensive side of the ball. So they're on the field a lot. They got their chance to kind of go hunt. They've been able to do that. Very complete team in Miami that's getting kind of camouflaged because how good Tyreek is, how good Tua is. They're built for it. I think they're built for the long haul in that Miami Dolphins roster.
You got the MVP leader with Tua right now and what they're doing on offense and playing highlights. I still don't understand why you're pressing Tyreek Hill with no over-the-top safety help. That's insane. But the offense so high-powered. But defensively, I still think it's a lot of room to grow for Vic's defense. Getting the Jalen's back would be huge, Jalen Phillips and Jalen Ramsey, which, they're saying Jalen Ramsey is moving a little faster than scheduled, so he should be on the field next month. But, I mean, this Dolphins team looks really, really good. Best in the league right now. I would put number 1 in the power rankings.
Now, they did lose a couple weeks back, so that made us think that they're humans. But, Gumpy, whenever you're watching, you guys are the team. And then we're week 6, okay? So it's still early. A lot of time left. Who knows what takes place? But it's got to feel good to know that currently you guys are the kings of the NFL, seemingly, with being the most consistently great squad. You got compliments coming from everybody. Hey, we used to see the greatest show on turf. This is the greatest show on turf times 10. They have 3 people on their offense that could all be number 1s in other places. Gumpy, life's got to be good for you, Doll fam.
Life is beautiful, my friend. It's the offensive line for me that's changed everything. They're keeping Tua upright. He didn't get sacked again yesterday, wasn't pressured. Like, it's just a completely different team. And the weird thing is, it's the same O-line as last year. Nothing's changed.
Yeah, so I assume if there's just a little different play calling,
They're running the ball.
And I know AQ loves the way McDaniel sets things up alongside Shanahan as well, who had obviously what he had yesterday. But the Carolina Panthers are changing the play caller. Frank Reich was the first play caller for Bryce Young. They have a miserable start. Now you got a second play caller for Bryce Young. If this doesn't go well, are they going to think about turning over? And then next year we have a third play caller to start the season. And then is this already happening for Bryce? Is it already happening for Bryce Young, AJ?
It sounds like it, and it sucks because at the quarterback position, I think so much of your success or failure relies on everything around you. Not only the weapons around you, the offensive line, but also the coaching staff and who is calling those offensive plays. Like, credit to Frank Reich, I guess, if he feels like if he steps out of the way, their offense can get going a little bit. But, man, for Bryce Young, it's a tough start.
He's handing over the play calling duties to offense coordinator Thomas Brown, says Mike Garafolo and Rappaport. Brown, who's 37 years old, is highly regarded.
Okay.
All right, Thomas Brown's going to do his thing. Now, the good thing about hiring an offensive head coach, one that calls plays, is if you have success with the quarterback, you don't have to worry about that person leaving.
That's right.
So now Frank Reich, who's the head coach and was the play caller, removes himself. So let's say Thomas Brown comes in, who's highly regarded, 37-year-old, and does very well. It's like there's going to be teams that start snooping around. And then is Frank Reich back to calling plays? Are we trying to find another offensive coordinator? What is Frank Reich
I got good
doing?
news. I got good news for you.
Okay.
If it doesn't work out with this guy, we got one of the brightest young minds in football. Colts offense coordinator last year, Parks Frazier, is their passing game coordinator. So he's next to step in. I think it's going to be just fine.
Parks Frazier did not perform well as the offense coordinator for the Colts, but who would have?
Yeah, who would?
Who would have? So I'm not judging him for that at all. But I am saying, Frank,
he had to do something.
Boy, oh boy.
They brought him in over Wilkes because he was an offensive guru,
They brought him in over everybody. I think he was the first hire this offseason, right?
he was the first fire last year
He was.
as a head coach, and he was the first hire. And I know he played down there, so there was some connection and everything like that. But you look at Frank whenever he's talking, I think a year off would have done him well.
I think so.
You know what I mean? With how the Colts thing ended,
Would have made money.
Just take a year off, maybe breathe for a second.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe do some self-scot, see what other people are doing that's good, that's not good. Because if you think about what happened here in Indianapolis, all this information's coming out about what was going on in the building, let alone what's happening on Sundays, which is not good. I don't even think we got a first down for 9 quarters or something like that. I forget what it was, but it was offensive.
It was bad.
It was terrible to watch. It was bad football. It was miserable. But then you start hearing about what was going on behind closed doors with him as the head coach. It's like, well, he lost the building, seemingly.
Yep.
On the field, it was terrible. Got fired early. Jeff Saturday comes in. Parks Frazier's doing it. It was a nightmare of a season for Indianapolis Colts fans. So whenever he just got named head coach immediately, there's a lot of people that started saying a lot of things. But us as Colts fans were like, guys should have just maybe taken a breather.
Yeah.
It was tough. Had guys gambling on teams, their own
team.
gambling on their own team. Had people late to meetings, had people late to treatments, had stuff going on in and out of the building. It was like, I'm sure Frank's emotional levels were a bit drained by the time he was done at the Indianapolis Colts, especially whenever you get fired like week 9 or something like that. Week 9 or week 10, it's like, then he gets dropped right back in. Hey, we need you to rebuild an entire program here with a rookie quarterback. And we know it didn't work there, but it'll work here with everything brand new. It's like, it seems like he's potentially at the point where he's like, I made a big mistake.
Yeah.
I've made
That'd be a tough spot if you realize maybe I didn't want this gig. But as a coach, can you imagine? You never know if you're going to get another opportunity to become a head coach, so you get him taking the job, obviously.
And there's only 32 of them, and who knows when you're
so hard. It's so hard to get.
That's an impossible thing to say no to, so we obviously can't judge them. But as the season goes on and we're watching them give answers at press conference where it's like, I thought it was bad in Indy. I don't know. Yeah, the owner brings me in and just tells me I'm terrible here.
Yeah.
Oh,
And that would really
did the owner have anything to do with it?
You think?
The film session?
Yeah, the owner. Why are you calling this play? Well, I was supposed to go to Thielen. Thielen's not in the play. Thielen's not in the game. Thielen's not in the game, Frank. Let's go to this play. Why'd you choose to do that? Well, I want to run there. We haven't been able to run. The owner just telling him pretty much every day. We haven't been able to do that. Do we have anybody else other than Thielen? Well, I was hoping you guys would sign another weapon. We did it, though. So figure it out. That's your job. Give me Thomas Brown.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's, you know what I mean? Like every press conference video I've heard from Frank Reich, he has been miserable.
Oh, yeah.
It's not been fun.
Yep.
And then now they make the change. What else? Maybe Thomas Brown does great here.
Maybe.
Maybe Frank just says, you know what? We'll leave the light on for you. Here's the keys. You do your thing. I'm going to go up
meet
here.
with the owner. You meet with the owner. I'm going to hang out in my office.
I'm going to be a
You got that.
consultant. You know, I'm going to be a consultant. Yeah, you guys are doing great. All right, I'll see you in 2-3 weeks. I'm going to come back down there. But there's some jobs that just seem like it wears on you. And it feels like Frank Reich is aging like a president right now.
Oh, yeah.
Down there in Carolina. And then obviously in Indy, it was the same exact situation.
But I don't care if Bill Walsh is calling the plays. Like, you need talent. You know, good players make good coaches. Thomas Brown, we'll see if he can spice things up. And a lot of people were saying, like, when he was talking about, you know, those meetings with the owners and how hands-on he is, that kind of maybe he didn't get the quarterback that he wanted to in the draft with Bryce Young. Maybe he wanted C.J. Stroud. We all thought, you know, Stroud was
okay.
QB1 in this draft. I know I did, but a lot of people are saying that. So that would make it suck even more if you take this job and you got number 1 overall pick and you don't get the quarterback that you want. Not saying that that's true, but that's what people are saying.
Bryce Young, too, like he's going to be on his 3rd play caller probably by next year.
Exactly.
And it's like he's going to get put into this cycle that a lot of quarterbacks have where it's like, all right, here we go. New play caller.
Yep.
That didn't work. New play caller.
Mm-hmm.
Bam, bam. We hope that doesn't happen, obviously. But it has happened in the past, and it has ruined careers, I think.
Yeah, and we've already seen it this year with, you know, Mac Jones. He's on his 3rd in 3 years, and we all know how that goes. But, I mean, think about Daniel Jones. Like, Daniel Jones had this same situation, then had one really good year, and then got a $40 million a year contract. Like, and they still don't know what it feels like about Daniel Jones. So that situation in Carolina, and they don't have any draft picks. It's not like they're picking in the top 3, and they can get Bryce Young, Marvin Harrison Jr., or a great offensive line. Like, what's the appeal for anybody to even go and help out Carolina?
Yeah, I don't know, but they got the 2nd richest owner in the NFL.
And he's very patient.
Yeah, that's not what I've heard. I have not heard about his patience at all. What I have heard is there was somebody where he worked, I don't remember what it was, who was above him, who did something to him at some point throughout his career. He got to a point where he was big dog, bought this guy's house, tore it down.
Mm-hmm.
Like just completely tore it down and just put like a parking lot there or something like that.
Yeah.
Then you think about what he was. This guy is
real.
This guy
Did he really put a parking lot, or he built another house?
I don't remember, but I do. The way the story was told is like got above this guy, bought guy's house, tore the thing down. See, like started a project in Carolina for the new Panthers facility. The town that he was doing the deal with didn't hold up their end of the bargain. Stop it. We're out of here. File for bankruptcy. We don't care. See ya. Like, I've heard this guy is just like, hey, we are a no-nonsense operation here. I couldn't fathom what those calls to the carpet are for Frank Reich every week, but we do know that if there isn't success, he will move and has moved already. Remember what it has been since he's become the owner. Rule was there. Offense coordinator was there. Offense coordinator gone. Defense coordinator gone. Matt Rule gone. New one. New quarterback. Trade this quarterback. Need new quarterback. We got a quarterback. This isn't our quarterback. Boom, we're drafting number 1 overall. It's our quarterback. How can we make him good? We will get rid of everybody around. It's like he is eager to win in the NFL. And it's like a lot of us have a lot of gloom and doom thoughts about their success down there.
Oh, yeah.
Even after a great defense last year that was able to will them to some wins, seemingly much different story this year. Let's go to there's this guy on Twitter named Michael Ripp, Michael.
Yeah.
Rippe.
Oh, the Ripper?
Hey, is that what they call him?
Yes.
Riper?
That's what I believe.
He's some chief
Ripper.
something officer for some Bitcoin poker thing, but super analytics guy.
Okay.
He put out some good stats that we need to chit-chat about. Cleveland has a historically good defense. They've only allowed 1,002 yards through 5 games this year. That's the fewest by any unit since 1972. That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Wow. You know who that group probably was in 72? Probably a team that went undefeated.
Could have been.
If we had to guess, the Dolphins in 1972. Not 100% sure because he did not follow up with that. But what we're watching in real time is a legendary defense in Cleveland. And if Deshaun Watson gets back in there and their offense can continue to go without Chubb, with Hunt and Ford, it's like, why not the Cleveland Browns, A.J. Hawk?
Why not? I mean, I think, believe me, there's a bunch of hope here in Ohio. I know I'm around a lot of Browns fans, and they've gone through the roller coaster as this season has gone, and they feel pretty good right now. I know that.
Let's talk about another one that he had about the L.A. Rams. Kyron Williams ran for 158 yards. The Rams finally got a run game. Okay, This is a big deal. They hadn't had it for a very long time. In Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford's connection, Cooper had 148 yards receiving. The Rams are fun to watch. That's a good call, Ripper, with a little punditry there at the end. But if you watch what Stafford and Kupp are able to do, they haven't missed a damn thing.
Nope.
They have these long out. I don't even know what it is. He's on the right hash, drops back to the right. Kupp's running an out to the left. It's like a 50-yard ball for a gain of like 12, and it is right. It's unguardable. It is absolutely unguardable. And we know that Puka Nacua was the weapon of choice for Matthew Stafford for the first 5-6 weeks. But I think we're all being reminded quickly about why Cooper Kupp got the deal that he got. Hopefully the hamstring genetic thing is all figured out. But these two have been a treat to watch play football again. Aaron Donald is still Aaron Donald. They have leaders at every single group that you would need a leader at. And I think this is McVay's best coaching job yet. They didn't win pretty. It was ugly against the Cardinals. The Cardinals are going to do that. But there's flashes of greatness that are unstoppable and unguardable. And I think their style of play can carry late into the season.
So what? He's been back 2 weeks, and I believe he's had over 100 each week back. Like he immediately came. There was no like, hey, let's ease him back into this. It was like, hey, Cooper Kupp's back. He's the guy. He's going to get 100 every single game.
And remember, before he had his hamstring thing, where he ended up flying to Minnesota, I think for those two olds.
He did.
See the old people.
Two old whites with Kirk Cousins. I think actually used Kirk's basement.
Oh, is that right?
Big win for the Vikings over the Bears, by the way.
That was a good game.
That was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
Forced to watch it in our market, obviously. Couldn't change the channel, had to watch it. It was great.
Awesome.
That was so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm very thankful for those types of teams being forced on our TVs, at least one of them. Shout out to the Vikings and the Bears getting the win. But whenever Cooper Kupp, before that hamstring issue, when he got his big deal, he had the most receptions in the NFL, the most yards in the NFL, the most touchdowns in the NFL, and also most yards after catch. So not only was he triple crown, he was literally all four of them. And him and Stafford had just picked right up where they left off. It's unguardable, D, but it feels like.
You can't, when Stafford's healthy and he's throwing the ball like he can, he's still a top 5 thrower in the league, but like you can't be right with them because he just goes against your leverage and the ball is right there on target. And he, like Tone said, just picked up right where he left off, being healthy again. But then talk real quick about that Browns. For them to set that record 50 years later with all the changes that's been made for offenses and quarterbacks and receivers, like that's insane.
Let's talk about a change that has happened down in Houston. C.J. Stroud has continued to wow. Now, he threw his first pick, and I think he had his first sack also in 156 pass attempts, I think. Got sacked twice. The Saints defense got to him, but I think it was his first sack in pass, like a lot of them. So everybody's talking about him not having an interception. He had one. He also wasn't getting sacked, so he's able to get rid of the ball, move, and that O-line has been doing an incredible job.
First time since week 2.
First time since week 2 he got sacked. So the Saints put pressure on him. But what the Saints weren't able to do is get a dub over C.J. Stroud. He continues to be the Rookie of the Year favorite. He looks the part. It feels the part. And the Texans are such a different team now than we could have ever imagined them being. Congrats to all of them, A.J. Hawk.
Man, what D'Amico has going, I mean, CJ feels like the perfect draft pick for Houston. When he came on here, we heard him speak. Like he sounds like, hey, this is the guy. This is our franchise leader. This is the guy that the whole city will rally around. And, man, you can feel like the team. Honestly, this is a good game. I understand low scoring, whatever, but this was a good game. It was a fun one to watch. And watching CJ drop back in the pocket when he doesn't have much pressure on him, like, just look how comfortable he looks. His feet look like they match up with his arm. Like, he's just doing well, man. It's fun to watch.
In the second half, the Texans started bringing pressure, and Derek Carr was starting to do better against that. The Saints, the same exact thing against C.J. Stroud. But he has 9 touchdowns, 1 interception on the year. He has been playing fantastic. Speaking of fantastic football, we got to watch some in London yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
What's that? No. I am. Oh, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, a man who got his first sack for the Baltimore Ravens. I guess he dropped off. And then he literally right in the middle of a sentence there. So I was about to throw to a man that wasn't there, which would be a damn shame because this guy deserves some shine. Because on this particular program, when he was guest hosting, flew in, not only did he bull rush Boston Connor and showcase that he still had it and got signed to the Ravens like 3 days later, but also Lombo said right to his face, this guy kind of stinks, should be playing in the XFL. Yeah. This guy said, whoa, 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 whoa. Then he signs with the Baltimore Ravens. He's on the practice squad. They want to see if he's in shape. He is. Yesterday in London, picks up his first sack as the Ravens do their thing and continue on a trend that might say, whoa, are the Ravens the real deal in the AFC? Ladies and gentlemen, our friend, representative of LDS, Kyle Van Noy.
Hey, so much has happened, guys. I mean, listen, can I spell out the F word, or does that still count?
Yes, you can spell it, I think. I think that's good. Or you can use sign language if you like. I think it's F.
Okay. I mean, first of all, congratulations. The show is just booming right now.
Thank you.
Oh, no.
Oh, jeez. They're throttling.
That's right. Call him back. We'll call you back. He's at the Ravens facility. I just saw him sit back and get down. You see that backdrop?
Incredible.
That was a beautiful thing over there in Baltimore.
Thought he was still in London, maybe.
Yeah, because you could see like the greenery.
Yeah.
And by the way, perfect time of year right now with the leaves starting to change.
Love foliage.
It's supposed to be like 50 this weekend in Columbus. Cannot wait for that.
Yep. Good fall football weather, man. Trees changing. This is a great time of year.
Friday, we'll be live from the game day set.
Here we go.
Yes.
AJ, excited to get to your backyard. How are we feeling about the weekend? Penn State's a real deal this year.
Penn State is the real deal. I know AQ will be in here later, and he'll let us know. But I think this is a great matchup. Honestly, there's great games all over the place in college football, but this one, I'm excited it's here.
Hell yeah, me too. AQ will not be here today.
No.
He will not be saying anything. We will see him.
What about Wednesday, Thursday?
I don't think he's going to be there Wednesday. I think he's going to be there Friday as well. Yeah, I think a couple of our Wednesday guests are not going to be here. I think the General Bob Carpenter will be live Friday as well. Yeah, we're going to stack that thing up whenever we get to Ohio State and Columbus. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, a man who got a big time sack in the middle of the lads in London. Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Van Noy.
Appreciate it. Hey, sorry about the Wi-Fi. We're working on it. We're doing our thing, but let me get things first. AJ, good job hosting. Pat, killing it. ESPN College, good job. Your show, elite. Mr. Pfizer,
oh, jeez,
that is wild, right?
Journalistic integrity, Kyle.
Jeez, Kyle.
It's a little crazy going on. I love it. The drama is on full effect. I love it. Good job, guys.
Thank you, Kyle. We're in the middle of it. You're in the middle of football season again for another team, and we're thankful for your kind words and that you're back in the NFL. Anytime we're hearing KVN make a play on a Sunday, life is good. Tell me about the transition and joining the Baltimore Ravens defense, and tell me about being comfortable in there and making a massive play for them yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like I've been balling off the couch, Justin Pugh, you heard it, off the couch. You heard it, off the couch university. I'm part of that too. So just trying to do my best, just trying to put on for my family. It was awesome. To get a little vulnerable, my son we had a little situation with him over the summer where he was down bad. And so he got to travel out to London with my wife. And what a blessing that was. It was pretty emotional for me, and to be able to put on for him while he was watching, and so proud and saying, "Go Daddy," and then being able to get pictures after the game. It was an awesome moment for me and my family. And just feel blessed to be in the situation that I'm in. Some injuries with the guys that are here, get called up, off the couch university. We're back at it.
Hey, happy to hear the son's okay. By the way, that's no fun at all. I couldn't even imagine the anxiety there. Blessed to be able to hear those type of personal stories, and happy it paid off over there in London. Go ahead, AJ.
Kyle, what's the culture like, and is it what you expected? We always see Hardball runs a tight ship, disciplined team, but they seem to have a great time and really get along with each other. Is that what you've seen?
Yeah, I think for me it's been kind of to sit back for a couple, the first 2 weeks, and kind of see how the dynamics of the team are working and flowing. And this week I was able to, crack a couple more jokes and, show my personality a little bit and open up to some guys. And I think honestly that trip was a really good thing for us. Just like that team camaraderie of just being in the hotel with the week with the guys and being on a long flight, getting to know each other. I mean, those are priceless moments that you can't really get when you're done with football. Sorry, the guy's mowing the lawn. I mean, he's killing his job too. He's like you guys. We're working. Everybody's working on a Monday. I love it.
Hey, we all need each other. It's 100% okay. We appreciate the fact that we're getting a chance to chat with you while the grass is being clipped. Let's talk about Lamar Jackson a little bit. Obviously, you've been around. Hey, we appreciate you. We appreciate you. Keep that thing watered down. The boys need good grass. It's a big topic of conversation. I assume that guy's a sod father in himself or a sod mama, depending on who's running it.
I'm just glad we have grass out here and not turf. That turf's been a monster this year, boy.
Yeah, a lot
we
of
need to get turf out of there. I'm on Von Miller, same page, and the rest of the guys have been complaining about it. I mean, Tottenham, it's an unbelievable stadium. Like, I'm actually all for having a Super Bowl out there. I think it would be honestly incredible, but got to have grass. I think we're to the point where we need grass.
Hey, Kyle, we will put you down in the column of wanting grass, just like everybody else. I think it's going to take place. I think it's going to take place at some point. The NFL is moving very slow. Don't want to talk about the Super Bowl in London just yet because that is a massive piece. I want to talk about the quarterback for this team that you're on now. You've been on teams with a lot of great QBs, obviously. Tom, then down there in Miami with Fitz and with Tua. Then you were with Herbert out there. What have you seen from Lamar that maybe either surprised you or reaffirms why Lamar Jackson is the lightning rod and as talented as he is?
This is a good question. Let me think about it just for a sec. I believe Lamar has grown tremendously. And I want to be careful with this because I don't want to come off and be like I'm happy with where we're at as a team because I think we still can be a lot better. I just think his growth and improvement at quarterbacking has taken a huge jump. I mean, some of the plays that I've seen in practice and then some of the plays that I've seen in the game, the timing, the touch. I know he missed this throw yesterday, but it was incredible. He was rolling out to his left and he kind of threw like a dart across, lobbing it over a defender, and it was just a tad overthrown, but it was an unbelievable throw. And just him having that confidence and that timing, I know it wasn't a completion, but just that throw in general is just showing how far he's come in his progression, in my opinion. I think he's really taken off as a QB, a pocket passing QB. And that's what I think he wants. That's what he wants to show the world. That's where he's comfortable as well. I think everybody's used to him with the highlights of running around, doing his thing with the football in his hand, and he's really incredible like that. But I think really people need to start paying attention because he's really doing a great job of delivering the football this year.
Yesterday on the run, he had one where he pump fakes high, corner jumps, sidearm right in the bucket. I mean, he is flawless seemingly right now, playing his best football from the pocket with his arm. And we're excited to watch him because he still got it.
Oh, yeah.
Still got it, just in case it needs to be shown.
For sure.
And in London, he's an international superstar. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Kyle, how was the London trip as a whole? We heard last week after the Week 5 game between the Bills and the Jags that the Bills were a little tired and that they maybe went over a little too late. Did it help you guys a lot going over there early? We saw Harbaugh say that he felt like he was Ted Lasso, and then we also saw, to Pat's point, Lamar realize that he actually has fans and people in London know who he is. What was that like over there? Was it a good trip?
I mean, LJ's tripping to act like he doesn't know people know who he is. I mean, you're Lamar Jackson, MVP, Action Jackson. I mean, I think it's awesome how humble he is. I got to talk with him last night. We kind of stayed up just chatting in the lounge area with a bunch of us, Roquan Smith, and just getting to know these guys and how humble they all are, but how much they love football and want to continue to grow it. It's awesome. I think the NFL is in such a good place with these young superstars. And I can't believe Harbaugh compared himself to Ted Lasso. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is. So what is Harbaugh like? Is he, because, there's stories from back in the day where maybe he, Ed, Ray, Sizzle, there was like a little bit of a moment whenever he came in and they were still OGs and the defense was doing its thing. And then now, though, to AJ's point, I don't think you hear anybody say a bad word about him that plays for him. What is he like, behind?
Harbaugh's been awesome for me. I mean, he's been very open communication. He's really good with veterans. I mean, he's been taking good care of myself and Jadeveon Clowney, who's playing really good football,
Big
by
sack
the way.
yesterday.
I think he's kind of flying under the radar. He's really putting on a number out there and really stepping up for the Ravens defense on the edge with the couple of injuries we have. He's really playing good football. But just his communication skills have been awesome to me. I can't say anything bad about Coach Harbaugh. He's been really good to me and, has been open arms for me here. And same with the entire staff. I think what needs to be said about the Ravens organization is behind the scenes. They really got it down. I mean, me coming in mid-year and just having the communication skills, getting me places to look at, to live, and just being on point has been really impressive. And shout out to the people and behind the scenes at the Ravens organization. Shout out to y'all.
Professional outfit over there. Jadeveon Clowney wearing that 24 looks sick.
Cool.
And then because I heard an announcer like, Clowney with the sack. I'm like, damn, I forgot Clowney was with the Ravens. And then he stood up from the pile and he's wearing 24. The dreads were still out. It was like, yup, still, that's good. Still Jadeveon Clowney, always going to be that. Go ahead, AJ.
Kyle, what's it been like coming in trying to learn this whole defensive scheme on the fly? Do you have anything from the past that you could kind of lean on? And what's it been like also physically? Is it what you thought you'd feel like?
I think those are two good questions. Good football questions, AJ. Love it, man. I think for me personally, I'm kind of like you when it comes to IQ. I'm confident in me learning any system. I learned it in a week. I could tell people what to do. I was helping some guys out on certain things, which was awesome. And then, for me, it's physically, I had to get my legs underneath me. It took probably until this game to be like confident, like, oh, my legs are finally with me. The first two games, that Cleveland game was like, holy shit, from the couch to playing. I mean, this is where it's at.
You had a couple reps against Connor.
Yeah,
had a couple reps against Connor.
Off the couch.
Hey, you're right. Connor did get me kind of ready, but Connor was kind of like, what? I don't want to bring up New England because I feel bad, but just going through it. So
what the hell, bro? What was that?
You're going through it. What? You guys could have signed him back. You chose not to.
And we tried to. He said no.
Wow.
Right?
Actually, this is kind of fun because I feel like right now I'm playing really good football, and it's I'm trying to put on for the older guys that kind of get washed out of the NFL, where GMs want to go younger and they think that's the way and blah blah blah. But I'm trying to prove to all these people that are in these roles and coaches that kind of looked over me that I think y'all need to pay attention to some of these older guys. They still got it.
Lombo, too. I mean, shout out to Lombo.
Yeah, Lombo. We know he's watching this. He's shaking in his boots in his house right now, going over the film. We know it.
Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Kyle, in terms of the AFC North, when the media is talking about it, seems like everyone's talking about the Browns and how good their defense has been so far. Joe Burrow, getting back or being back, and the Bengals kind of coming on here, and then the Steelers being tied for the lead despite their offensive woes. But the Ravens kind of get overlooked, and it seems like people aren't really talking about you guys. And I know you said that there's a ways that you guys have to go until you think you'll be playing your best football. But why do you think that is, that the Ravens as a whole, who are always there, are getting overlooked by everyone?
I mean, let's keep it a buck. We've before I got here, they played a rookie quarterback, C.J. Stroud, in his first start, won that game. Then I believe they beat the Bengals. We beat the Bengals. That Joe Burrow was hurt. Then we lost to the Colts and Minshew, which was not a very good loss. And then we come back and beat Cleveland with the backup quarterback. Then we lose to the Steelers. Not very good. And then this week we beat a Titans team that's like kind of up and down, show flashes of being good, Yeah. So to me, the Lions is going to be our first true test on being a really good football team. They're 5-1. Yeah, 5-1. They're really good. Jared Goff is playing. Yeah, 5-1. Jared Goff's playing elite football. He's got that offense rolling. Their defense, I believe, is stopped. They haven't had a 100-yard rusher giving up one. So their defense is clicking, and Dan Campbell's done a really good job. So I think this will be the first test. And I think after this one, it's going to be a good test where we're at, me personally. And, they're coming into our house, and we lost the last one that was at home, and we need to respond well and accordingly.
Have you been to Jimmy's famous seafood yet since you're signing?
No, not yet. I'm waiting for the marketing deal,
They are. Listen. The people that run that, obviously, we are big fans of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. I'm excited.
But their seafood is the great. They gave me the best. It is their crab cakes. Obviously, crab cakes in football. That's what Maryland does. Jimmy's, more specifically. Yeah. Their crab cakes are phenomenal. Then they had these, what were those things?
Scallops?
Scallops that we had with bacon wrapped around.
Oh, yeah.
They got a full bakery there.
Yeah.
Steak. They had steak and chicken for us. I'm telling you. And I think they, at night, they have a good time. Not saying you need to do that. But, yeah, you should stop by the Jimmy's, folks. I think that would be a good place to get a little baptized in the Baltimore folk.
I agree. When I show up, I'll take a picture and say, appreciate you.
Be careful, though.
I think you use promo code Jimmy's 15.
Yep.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Jimmy's 15, 20, 30, 40, 50.
They have a COVID cockroach parade, though, every week.
Yeah, that was the issue. They potentially were the ones that started COVID.
Yeah,
and nobody.
Sons of bitches.
Nobody talks
cicadas,
about
not
that.
cockroach. Cicadas.
So nobody ever talks about
it. Is it cool if I get a couple questions for you guys?
Oh, Kyle, can't wait. Coming back from London.
Right.
I'm sure your brain is working at an all-time high right now. What's going on?
Yeah, we're fried right now. So with the dilemma, first of all, I just want your quick thoughts on seeing, I don't know if you guys have touched on it, is Aaron Rodgers throwing without just playing catch. Does anybody realize how crazy that is? I know everybody's enamored with it, and I know you probably have touched on it, but I really don't truly think people realize how crazy this is for him to be recovering so fast. Obviously you guys know him personally. You guys know the mindset he has. Can you guys allude to you dive into his brain a little bit and tell us a little bit of what he's like in that manner,
so,
that
Kyle,
presence
good question.
of stepping in a room and whatnot, his aura.
Good question, because he's shown up and they've played their best football. But I think, and AJ will know better than me, I think it is the Dolphins mating that has kind of healed his Achilles the fastest. But it's not just him throwing and everything. How casual he is putting his weight on both feet. There's no limp. There's no grimace coming from this entire thing. He seems to be way ahead of it all. And this has been a game plan since the beginning, AJ. I don't want to speak out of pocket for somebody who knows him much better than all of us, but he has thought this way since jump, it feels like, AJ.
Yeah, I think from the jump, that was always his plan. And I think he's becoming more and more encouraged by how he's responding through it as well. So, yeah, seeing this happen and just seeing how he can sling the ball, too, not even have to push off anything, how casual he is. Yeah, the Jets, I think, I don't know. If they don't have their hopes up for him coming back, as each week goes and we see more and more of him, they will.
Can't wait to hear what he has to say tomorrow. Anyways, what's your last question, Kyle? Excited for that. Was good. That was good hosting. It was Kyle Van Noy show.
My last question is for AJ. With the Ohio State Buckeyes and their run that they're on right now, and the coach calling out Lou Holtz, is there a way to get him to call out a couple more coaches when they win, because it seems to fire him up a little bit?
I like that, Kyle. Is that Ryan Day's MO?
That would be sweet.
So.
Hey, why not?
I think we got to juice it up a little bit more. I think we got to get some people to do some AI to get them going.
Oh, a little Photoshop, old legends from around college football saying Ryan Day's a big softy. Yeah. And then every single week.
Who did you guys beat this weekend?
Who was it? Purdue. It was a tough one. We've had some battles
where it was like I saw a tweet, someone saying like getting mad at, I believe, Drew Brees or something like that this week. I thought that was pretty fun.
Whatever motivates the boys, I love. Just like you, pal. I'm appreciative of you joining us, and I'm so thankful you're back in the league and we get to watch you. You're the man. We appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, Baltimore Ravens, defensive end, Kyle Van Noy.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Kyle. Keep enjoying life over there. Go to Jimmy's. Go stop down Jimmy's Diner.
It is delicious.
It is very good. The food is fantastic. Coming up on a hard out here before we send it away to Sports Center. AJ, any final thoughts for the beautiful people here on this glorious Overreaction Monday?
Yes. Well, I would assume everyone had a great time watching football yesterday, right? It was a great day of football. We have another great week ahead of us, so I'm looking forward to it.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
That's perspective right there. No matter what's going on in your world, let's remember we're alive. We got football, and we got tonight Chargers and Cowboys. We'll be talking about all that tomorrow alongside Aaron Rodgers, who's been joining our show for 4 years. Don't know if you know that.
What?
I wrote about it last week. A lot of growth. Should be a good one. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. We'll see you mañana. Right on the screws.
Let's go.
Right on the screws. So professional. I actually think we're so on the screws that whenever I say on the screws immediately afterwards, that might also be on ESPN as well.
Good.
So I get my victory lap at the same time as being happy about hitting a hard out time perfectly.
And you're saying everything that people are watching, too. It's kind of a good moment for you because you're saying on the screws. I assume a lot of people also, hey, that was on the screws.
Oh, yeah. So
saying
we're
what
all,
they're thinking.
They're saying the same thing.
Bingo. Yeah, you're simpatico with the people watching.
That's big time hosting stuff.
Yeah, it is.
That's big time hosting stuff.
Yeah.
Reese Davis, by the way, so good. He's so good.
Yeah, how was the morning? I saw the photo.
By the way, your jacket.
To the crowd.
Hey, that jacket got a lot of chatter.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
Clean.
Yeah.
Duster. I like that full length situation.
Yeah, I did not expect
Knee
that.
length.
I heard it was going to be rainy and like 40-some degrees or whatever, classic Seattle, and I walked into my closet to find stuff. I don't have a lot of options, but that thing was sitting there. I think I just got it off Amazon last year at some point. Everybody's like, where'd you get that? Where'd you get that? And I was like, I think it was like $14, something on it. I was pretty pumped there. Everybody think I was super high fashion. That's what everybody was saying. Might have to bring it back at some point.
Clean.
But wait till this weekend. Oh, yeah, I'm feeling good. Ohio State, Penn State's supposed to be 50 degrees.
Oh, hell
Perfect.
I cannot wait for it. All right, there's some games that we have not talked about. How about Sam Howell doing his thing, throwing for 3 touchdowns against the Atlanta Falcons? Now, Desmond Ridder throws for over 300 yards. 300 yards he throws for. Now, also has some turnovers that Artie Smith obviously lost his mind for. But that Washington Commanders team still winning games. They're 3-3 right now in an NFC East that we all assume the Philadelphia Eagles are going to run away with. But Sam Howell continues to showcase a howitzer arm, and this Commanders team, they're going to be a tough out for everybody, including this Atlanta Falcons team where Desmond Ridder had a prolific day while also giving the ball to the other team a lot.
Yeah, he did. Well, this game was fun to watch too. Like some of these games that you don't think would be, this was enjoyable. I picked Atlanta, so I was rooting for Atlanta to find a way to make a comeback. And it was just like, man, I felt for Coach Artie Smith. Just watching him grind his teeth and look at the play sheet when they're moving the ball and then just tough turnovers here, man. This is, golly.
Yeah, that's a tough one right there.
I felt for him.
They were.
3rd and goal, you have another opportunity. I think that's the thing about these young quarterbacks that we're kind of, yeah, here he is. There he is, 40. There was a shot of him on the sideline going, much more animated than people give him credit for. But also, success. He threw for 300 yards. So, there is a conversation. Now,
silver lining.
3 picks is not good. Can't just give the ball to the other team. You're not going to win games whenever you do that. But it feels like there's been a lot of moments here where we're watching people learn stuff. Now, granted, I know Tyrod Taylor's 34 years old, but like before half, that can't happen.
No.
Jalen Hurts at the end of the game where you can just pick up an easy first down and live to see another play, instead throws it into double coverage, game over. That type of thing can't happen. Desmond Ridder made some decisions where it's like that type of thing can't happen. Got to learn these as you move forward, but if you keep making the same mistakes, that's when you're going to get your ass run out of the league. Desmond Ridder saw some success, gave the ball away too many times. What are your thoughts on that game?
Hey, he had his best week last week. You were hoping he would come and stack on top of that, have another good week. Like I said, silver linings, he threw a bunch of yards, but the ball is the program. And that was the kind of the theme around the league this weekend. Who was taking care of the ball? And usually those are the teams winning the games.
So let's talk about Vikings, Chicago. Vikings get a grueling win.
Yeah,
great game.
Barn burner.
Eberflus is now said that quarterback Justin Fields is doubtful this week because of the dislocated thumb in his throwing hand. Zito, how do you feel about that? Do you feel you're going to lose a lot without Justin Fields out there?
Yeah, we definitely will, but we have Tyson Bagent right behind him, and he's a baller.
Yeah, that's what everybody's been saying.
Yep.
Everybody.
Boy, these games being
First play. I saw when he came in, first play, I think, was a sack fumble return for a touchdown.
Yeah.
That was rough.
Felt for him.
Just a
Felt for
couple
him. He
nasty
battled back,
turnovers.
though. He battled back and made some throws.
They beat out P.J. Walker. They cut
did.
P.J. Walker in the offseason to keep him as their backup.
Kirk Cousins goes 21 of 31 for 181 yards and a tud. Jordan Addison, 3 receptions for 28 yards and a tud. Madison, 18 rushes, 44 yards, 4 receptions for 28 yards. Not a lot in this 19-13 game, but the Vikings moved to 2-4.
Yeah. How about it?
Vikings moved 2-4, and the Bears moved to 1-5, trying their best to get the number 1 and number 2 overall pick in the
Come
next
on,
draft.
Junior. Come on in.
Now, the Patriots have something to say about that
Damn
whole thing.
right.
Patriots lose to the Raiders. Brian Hoyer comes in and does his thing. Conman, at one point yesterday, going into half, Scott Hansen of Red Zone TV read off a stat. You guys have been outscored 85-6 or something like that.
Yeah.
In the last. How has that been the case? And what are your thoughts on the moving forward New England Patriots trying to tank? Is what you sound like.
Yeah, absolutely. I cannot explain how liberating it is to watch a football game and hope that your team loses, because it really does change the Sunday completely. Really, you kind of saw some of it yesterday when Mac Jones is playing well. The wide receivers can't catch the football. When Mac Jones is playing bad, then the Patriots are playing well. They're the worst team in the NFL as a complete whole, I think. They don't really have a great, offense, obviously. They don't have a great O-line. They don't have great receivers. They don't have a great defense anymore because, their best players are out. J.C. Jackson actually played yesterday, looked amazing, but it's too late. There's no point to play well for the rest of the season. Malik Cunningham came in. He was active, 1 play, 6-yard sack. I mean, there's just nothing. There's nothing that this team does particularly well. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott took a screen 80 yards to the house. Penalty. Bring that touchdown back. I mean, there really isn't, but we're talking about turnovers. Mac Jones threw an interception on the plus, I think 35-30, and when you look at the game, when you go back, it's 19-17. We take a safety, we lose 21-17, but 19-17.
Max Crosby is hilarious.
He is so good. Yeah, he's unbelievable, and the Raiders have a good team, but it's a perfect example of why Coach Belichick isn't the problem, because Devontae Adams, he gets his bell rung a little bit by Jabril Peppers on that hit interception, but the scheme itself is very good against these guys. It's just in the end the ball bounces the other way and we lose the 1-score game.
Yeah, Max Crosby locked in for tomorrow on our program, 2:30 Eastern. We'll be talking about Max Crosby. The Condor basically called game right here. Said, you know what? You got no timeouts. I'm going to get a safety. You guys are putting the ball back to us, and Hoyer's kneeling this thing out as a lot of ex-Patriots get a dub over Bill Belichick. I have no idea what the future looks like. Chip, block, mine, buy. See ya. Strut, do your dance. Do your dance, Max Crosby, who has been a game wrecker since the time he got into the league. But a lot of ex-Patriots get a big win over Bill Belichick out there in Vegas, and I assume that felt good. Jacoby Myers scores a tud. And Jacoby's been a guy, for this Raiders team the last few weeks. I guess he wasn't even offered a contract. And then Juju Smith-Schuster was given a contract that you would offer to a guy like Jacoby Myers. And he gets a chance to score against him. That's a beautiful thing. I'm happy for him, AJ.
How could you not be? Yeah, I mean, he's been playing well this year. He really has. But when you look at the Patriots, though, I heard you talk about Bill Belichick earlier, with Teddy Bruschi's comments that he's used to playing for championships when it truly means something. But the process and all of that, there's no way Bill would ever bail on anyone or a team saying, hey, this doesn't mean anything. That's what he's been preaching for the last 40 years.
Jets, I think.
Wouldn't mean anything now.
Yeah, bailed on the Jets after a few
Well,
days.
to take another gig, though, was that mid-season, though, like this, where you already have all this resume built up with this squad?
I don't think mid-season he would do anything either. This is all off-season conversation, I think, but it is going to get loud.
Oh, it already is. I know people right now would prefer that the Patriots would fire Belichick than keep him for the rest of the season. I know for a fact that there are fans right now.
Easy come, easy go up there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? All you got to do is 20-plus years of success, greatest dynasty in the history, so many parades and happiness. And when Tom leaves, fuck Tom. We're on Bill's team. And then this team looks bad for a year and a half, and it's like, fire him now.
This guy sucks.
Fire him Now, and I think it's
football's the best.
It is. Football is the greatest. The fans are the greatest. And I think there's a chance that a lot of people will spin this from New England and be like, we don't want to remember Bill for this. We don't want Bill to put out his absolute worst performance in worst teams. We would like to continue to hold Bill in high regard. We would like to think of Bill for the good times, all the parades, all the excellence. Now we're thinking about him with a defense coordinator being the offense coordinator and that going to absolute shit. And now we're thinking about Mac Jones being the guy that nobody wants to know success and just losing every single week and seemingly having no answer. Biggest loss in the history of Belichick happened this season. Biggest loss at home in the history of Belichick happened this season. It's like, I think there's Patriots fans that are like, we understand what you're saying about us having Bill Belichick's back. This isn't Bill Belichick. This is a vastly different Bill Belichick than we fell in love with. And to that, we say we understand, but also let the guy finish his season.
Yeah.
You guys are trying to run his ass out of town like he's Frank Reich of the Indianapolis Colts.
Well, I mean, if a team's 1-5, it doesn't matter who the head coach is. They're 1-5. You know, something has got to change. But I think the reason Patriots fans are so kind of pissed off and done with the whole thing is because we've had the same exact problems for 3 straight years. Like, we haven't had good weapons. Our whole line hasn't been good. And we haven't been able to really move the ball. And you mentioned the Patricia Joe Judge era. People were not, when that happened, that's when people were like, hey, this isn't the time anymore where you just do stuff and we don't question it. Like, why the hell was Matt Patricia and Joe Judge the OCs?
So, to that point, though, that's like Tomlin. I think Tomlin having Matt Canada's back through this entire thing, which I think Tomlin would view as a positive trait. Like, yeah, I'm sticking up for my guy. I think he's got a lot of Pittsburgh people to be like, if this is what the standard is, then you're on your own island for that. It's kind of the similar thing for New England with Bill Belichick.
Same exact. I mean, it's the 3rd season of it. Like, okay, well, 1st season, that's fine. Just 2nd season, cool. Let's not, 3 times, not a charm.
They're chanting fire Canada on the Capitol. I think on the Capitol of D.C.
Yeah, when the Pens whoop the Cap's ass.
Yeah, instead of so those that don't know this, and we tried to explain it a couple times on this program, like, Pittsburgh people, if you see other Pittsburgh people, like, here we go Steelers is the chant that just automatically starts everywhere. If there's a lot of Pittsburgh people in a Penguins away game, it's like, here we go Steelers chant is going to start in here at some point. It's been that way forever. That has been replaced with Fire Canada. Like, we're talking about like 40 years of Pittsburgh tradition of here we go Steelers being chanted everywhere, thrown away for the number one heel in town, Matt Canada, whose offense is somehow similar to the Iowa Hawkeyes offense in college ball. And Tomlin being publicly behind him has made his brand kind of get trapped into that entire thing, into Bill Belichick thing, like him sticking by his guns to the shit that isn't working. They're turning against him. It's an interesting time in the NFL fandom right now, especially in those 2 places, AJ.
Just we know there's no patience anywhere, and if your team's not winning, like, what's the first thing you're gonna do? Try to fire a coach, and then they're gonna then they go on to players, right? They want to get rid of the coach, and then let's get rid of the quarterback. If that happens, all right, they'll get another quarterback. You just keep going until you win.
Matt Canada, though, he's got a chance to really turn it around.
Yes, he does. Bye week, I bet you he was cooking something up. I can't even.
7-2.
Everybody loves a comeback.
7-2 last year after the bye week. Same exact situation possible here, Tone.
Yeah, good news. I saw during the bye week, Dan Moore, who started the season at left tackle, who got hurt, and then we traded up for a left tackle in the first round. He played last week. I think he allowed 1 pressure the entire game. Well, it doesn't sound like he's going to start moving forward. You know, the guy that lets up 12 pressures a game is back, and he's going to start.
Nice. So you're questioning everything right now?
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
You guys still, I think you're in the lead still for the division.
Still 3-2.
Yeah, congrats.
Yep.
I looked at that. They had the standings for the AFC North because the AFC North had a good day yesterday. And it was like the Steelers were still at the top of the graphic. And then as everybody was talking about it, it's like, I don't wonder if Steelers fans know this. Like, I don't know. I don't know if Steelers fans have any idea that it's very hard to win a game in the NFL. It's very hard to be at the top of your division, especially with the AFC North. Ravens get a win in England. They go to 4-2. Obviously, they're above them with 1 more win. But who says the Steelers can't steal one this week?
I believe it's an eyeball test thing. You know, you grew up there. Everyone is decently smart at recognizing football, and the record.
You know when you see it.
Yeah. Bingo.
Point differential. That's really,
we're basically Iowa of the NFL.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to the Big Ten championship, Tony. So you should.
We might be too. Who knows?
Yeah, you'd be just fine.
You might see the Steelers.
Yeah.
And you guys look pretty similar with the outfits.
Yeah.
You know, the uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to a break. On the other side, we'll have overreactions. We'll have more breakdown of the games we haven't chatted about, like the Jags made Gardner Minshew look not good at football yesterday.
It was a tough day at the mill.
Bengals defense yesterday.
Down there in Duval.
Yeah, oh my, the Bengals pressure they get when they need to. Yeah, him and Sam Hubbard just collapse in the pocket when they need to, especially at the end to get the win. It was awesome.
And also, we got a video from Cincinnati. Every time I say that the Bengals have to walk across a highway to get to practice, I guess that is not true.
Oh, well,
What? So I do apologize for misinformation. They practice under a highway. They walk across a regular street.
Okay.
And Drew, our friend over there, made a video to explain that. That certainly made me laugh. Just a basic fucking street. It's like, all right. Certainly clarifies some things.
Fair.
But then the immediate reaction was, why the fuck they got Joe Burrow walking across the city street to get to practice? It's just the way it is. It's old school. You know, it's like a high school team over there.
Gritty.
It is gritty. And Lou Anarumo,
Mm-hmm.
it's got a gritty defense that has shown up in a big way at the right time. Don't look now. Bengals 3-3. Don't look now.
Don't look now.
Joe Burrow targeting Jamar Chase pretty much every season. Don't look now. Stats said they had no shot. Joe Burrow said, my calf's getting better.
Why?
Our defense still hunting.
Why?
And we're still walking across the street to fucking practice.
Why?
Hell yeah.
Congrats to the Bengals doing their thing. Congrats to the Jags seemingly feeling like a full team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they sunned the Colts yesterday.
Body.
And it's like, I want to be bummed about it, but also while you're watching that game, you think to yourself, like, Jags good.
Yes.
Jags very good at football. There's a reason they were the leaders of the AFC South last year. They're only getting better. Now, granted, we'll see what the injury is to Trevor Lawrence. ETN is a hard runner, a dog. Their offensive line does their thing. They made Gardner Minshew look bad. Josh Allen got to the quarterback a bunch. Special teams is playing great for them. It's like, got to remember whenever you watch your team get their ass beat, like, the other team good, maybe.
In Jacksonville, too. You know, we stink down there.
I think we lost the last 9 times down there.
Yeah.
What's that mean?
Tough business.
Why?
Well, there's pools.
Yeah, it's,
The division
it's
game.
DeVille. It's Jackson.
Plus, the best team the Colts had in the last 10, 15 years, they lost the playoff clinching game.
And week 1, I think.
Easy. Clown Town was tough.
Yeah.
That was a tough game for us to lose. This game, I guess all the suites down there didn't even have DirecTV because the Jags didn't pay their bill.
Oh, classic.
So
That's
it's like,
cool.
it just never ends. And then we lose to that team
Yep.
yet again. Jim Irsay's always paying his DirecTV bill.
Yeah.
Has to.
He was paying hotel workers at a Jacksonville hotel before the game. I saw that.
With the people of Indianapolis' money.
Whoa.
It's his business.
Yeah. Same difference.
Jeez Louise. Zito sent me a random stat. He says the Colts have not won in Jacksonville in 9 years. Yeah. So it's 3,312 days.
That's not that bad.
That's nearly a third of the Jaguars' entire existence.
The Jags have been really good for a long time.
Zeke, keep these stats to yourself.
What was it, 2014? You were playing still.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thanks. I got a win down there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a couple.
Right.
The last one.
Couple of them, I think.
Oh, yeah. I was part of that.
The Colts have not won in 3,312 days in Jacksonville. The Jags were founded as an expansion team in 1993. 10,000 some days. It's tough to play down there.
It's tough down here.
Weather's tough.
Tough barn.
Tough barn. The pool.
The tarps.
Jackson jumping.
Back then, it was the tarps were tough.
Yeah.
Because you look for the fans to give you energy, and it's like, well, half of the stadium's tarped off. It's like, is that a mind trick, or could they not sell this place out? Now they got no problems.
No.
They got no problems.
None.
That place is filled up. There's no clowns there, and their team's for real.
Yeah.
And now we're staring down a time where we might be looking at another 3,000 days.
Uh-oh.
Anthony Richardson.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Gonna be interesting.
The way that was read was like
There's got to be more going on. Has to be more going on if he's thinking about getting season-ending surgery.
him opting for it is interesting to me. You know, like
Is that? I mean, I guess that's how we read it, but is that the case?
he said, Schefter kept saying a couple of times, you think both parties are in there because of what happened to Andrew Luck, which I respect. But like what I had been hearing in the way it had been reported is like Anthony was like, yup, let's do it. I'm out the rest of the year. It's like, we still got a lot of time.
Yeah.
And
There's still a lot of, and we need you to play more football. Like that's what we,
3-3, not 0-6.
and
right?
we need you to play football. Like that's a big part of it. Like reps you're playing. So it's like, That was scary to me to hear. Like, this dude is like at the point where he's like, you know what? Shut it down for the year. And now they're talking about both sides. That makes a lot more sense, but it did worry the fuck out of me.
Unfortunately, he's gonna miss the debut of the Indiana Knights jerseys this weekend, which is gonna be so tough.
Oh, no. Is that the all black uniform?
No, I think they're blue.
Yeah, they're like dark blue.
Right. But they have like speckles on there. They're cool.
Got the Browns.
Yeah, that helmet is nasty.
She grew up tall and she grew up proud with them Indiana boys on them Indiana night. That's about marijuana. So I appreciate the fact that they're diving into that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Last Dance with Mary Jane. I hope we get to see a couple more dances with AR this year.
Yeah, I don't think so. Minshew's got his dancing shoes, though. You don't need them.
Well, his dancing shoes were 2 left feet this week. So let's go ahead and get the right and the left, and let's get back to doing some Minshew mania stuff. Because the Colts are still in this, although the Jags look incredible. Let's take a break. We'll have overreactions on the side, and also more breakdowns of all the games we haven't covered, inclling college ball. How about that Washington-Oregon game?
Wow.
How about it?
Unbelievable. Instant classic.
How about their fucking fans?
Oh, yeah. Rowdy.
6 a.m. we were live. They'd been there since, literally, Grayson, the kid that kicked it twice, he was there at 4 p.m. the day before. So 7 p.m. Eastern.
Jesus.
Just standing there.
Just
waiting. I think he laid down probably for a little bit and slept, but then it just filled up. By the time I got there in the morning, it was like 5 a.m.-ish, already packed, just waiting. DJ Griff was in there playing music. They were dancing and jamming. I'm like, it's fucking 5 a.m. I know I'm living on East Coast time zone still because I haven't really got acclimated. They live on the 5 a.m. local. They're out there going crazy. I did not expect that at all. Shout out to the Husky fan base, and I'm happy they got a chance to celebrate a big-time win.
Yeah.
People are going to attack Dan Lanning for that 4th down thing. Go for it, dude. Go win the damn game. Now, if it doesn't work out, this guy's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, right.
Let's get to a break. We'll be back on the other side. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Take 5.
Tonight is a night where everything's going to be remembered. Every play, every sweat, every fight.
Hop in the car, watch it go vroom, vroom. I told her mom that I'll bust soon. Know as a child back in the womb.
Hey, let's have a national championship Monday, huh? My name's Pat McAfee. I've started this show 2 different occasions already. This will be the 3rd. Wow. It's 2023. We eat adversity for lunch. There's just so many different forms of gummies coming in my mouth.
Boss man, can you do a kickflip?
100 for it? 100 for it?
Oh!
Come on, bro. That was awesome. Hey, this little teddy bear is cool. This little round sweet. All right, I feel pretty good for this ESPN party. Let's go have a blast in there. Boom. Need you to do a red carpet. I've never done a red carpet before.
I got to poop, sorry.
I don't know if now's the time.
We're invited to the ESPN party, and now we are all sitting on a red carpet. We had no idea this was coming, obviously. We thought we were just getting some free drinks.
A lot of people on the internet say I look tired. What's that all about? I'm a massive fan of Posner. He was getting motivational speeches in between songs. He was playing other people's songs. He was telling people to stay down. We're going to make a moment. Only on the count of 3, we're going to go crazy.
Oh, I know. Sad song. Sad song.
Oh, oh yeah.
A couple of these. Bring it up. Bring it up.
Who's up? What do you want?
What'd you do?
Gotta make it back again, baby. It's gotta last until 9 o'clock.
Happy birthday, sack of shit.
Yeah.
I'm so fired up to be here.
Yeah.
I got a necktie and everything.
Holy shit. Tim Tebow's here. Oh my God.
Look at that cut.
The most handsome shot in our show's history. Nick Saban has been spotted at SoFi. Great work in the back box. These boys crushed it. Now we got game day, then the mega cast. Let's go. Hey, let's have a night. Obviously, the enemy of great is good. The enemy of a dynasty is winning one championship and letting it go. Prime, you're obviously going to Colorado, a place that's been looking for some sort of championship for 20 years. You're also one of the greatest speakers I've ever heard. What are you saying to your team?
You can't get here and all of a sudden change.
Yeah.
You don't want to see a different mannerism of somebody, and especially the coaches. See, everybody's talking about the players, but you got to coach the coaches too.
Did you smile there too? Were you smiling?
I saw a smile. I do that every now and then.
The rat poison, smiling. That's embedded fourth quarter perfection. Matthew Stafford, fourth quarter perfection. Big moments, Tebow perfection. We got some real magic here tonight, don't we? And I love that toad that takes those mushrooms and eating them. With that being said, Stetson Bennett's 25 years old. He's so damn comfortable. Darnell Washington's the backup tight end. He's 6'7", 270. Brock Bowers, best player on the field. The defense full of dogs. Give me the Georgia Bulldogs go back-to-back. First time since this man and his Alabama squad. I love the Bulldogs tonight, barking all over the place, Coach. All right, here we go, huh? A little bit of rush from old game day down to the field. We went all the way to the roof to come back. We are so sorry. All right, let's roll. I gotta get to the suite, and then I'm gonna hop over the suite thing. Look, Red. You are looking at SoFi Stadium, where we'll be crowning a national champion for our college football season tonight. And the Dogs are on the board early. Wide open.
That's the shot that they wanted, baby.
Stetson Bennett with his second touchdown in the first half. Penn.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Georgia's first down. One-handed touchdown. Brock Bowers, touchdown. It is currently 45-7. It is 52-7. Touchdown.
Jeez. This is just a good old back-home ass whooping.
It's a blowout, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. Hey-oh. That son of a bitch, Uga, is having the night of his life.
Wow.
It's raining indoors in Los Angeles. This is God taking a tinkle on something magical, isn't it? Let's get him on camera. That mustache.
Holy smoke.
Holy smokes.
Are you a firefighter?
Good for you, bro. Thanks for your service. First down, Horned Frogs on a 2nd and 3. Why don't we call a game? Holy hell, Tim Tebow is coming. Tebow, we're live.
We're on.
We're live right now. Welcome back to SoFi Stadium. Right before the break, an extra point almost killed Tim Tebow. Natural instincts had to take in place. I could not lose the greatest human on earth, and I'm happy they gave you that ball, Tim. Tone, act like you're Sonny Dykes, please.
All right, boss. First half didn't go our way. We're doing this for the great state of Texas. You know who else was down 31 points?
Who's that?
The Italians.
All right, let's take the tractor another round. What are you watching out there, Coach?
Honestly, they're better off grabbing Luka Doncic out of the crowd and maybe lining him up next to Quentin guys in that receiver. Because they can't do a damn thing.
We decided Tebow here, formerly known as praying for this TCU team to do something. So you put your hands up, play that song, butterflies fly away. Thank you for your service, sir. You're a badass, man.
Those other Americans, I wouldn't be here.
What a run, huh? The boys crushed it.
TCU sucks.
What? That's all she wrote for college football season. What a year. Let's fucking get home. Don't break the table, obviously.
I just break shit.
Sorry, man. Somebody came sprinting behind the barrier and tried to spear him.
I fucking dare somebody.
Oh, no!
I dare the next fool.
Ass kicking.
What?
Saudi Arabia.
What?
Riyadh.
What?
Taking a jet plane.
What?
All the way there.
What?
All the way back.
What?
On the way back.
What?
WWE champion.
Like a shit. Hell yeah! Yeah! destroy their shit. Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Overreaction Monday, October 16th, 2023. Hour 3 of this program starts now. Football!
Kind of nailed it.
Yeah, a little soft.
It's a big week, AJ.
Nailed it.
Timing.
I
have to jump the gun. I have to say it a second earlier. I have to jump the gun and time it up because it's a slight delay. So that time I missed the delay a little bit.
I will say, in Washington, as I'm trying to do it, and I don't know what you can hear and what you can't hear. I can't hear any of the music. I can only hear when people speak in the intro in my ears. I can't hear the music at all. So I'm trying to guess when the football is coming. So I actually thought of you a couple times whenever I was out there about to yell into the microphone.
Oh.
So I think you need to know, though, your timing is perfect. Your timing's perfect.
Way to go, Hawk.
You know why, AJ?
Why is that?
Because you're the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
Whoa.
You're a man who's won a college football national championship and a Super Bowl championship. Not a lot of people have done that.
No.
In the history. And that's why he's been named president of Ohio, and we will be celebrating him on Friday.
Yes.
Live from the college game day set, starting at noon Eastern all the way to 3. It'll be the AJ Hawk celebration right there in Columbus on Friday.
We bringing our sleeping bags, staying at his house on Friday night still?
Yeah, I don't know how close you live to where we're going to be, but the plan is to sleep at your house. Thank you for the hospitality.
Appreciate it. Talker.
Thank you to everybody in Ohio for showing up and supporting one of your presidents.
Waterproof basement.
AJ.
Request your presence just like on his birthday.
Are you going to give, in D.C., he had that little dust-up party. Are you going to give a speech to the people of Ohio on Friday, or what do we expect him?
No, I do not plan on doing that. I think whatever happens organically will happen. You know, we like to feed off the crowd. I do expect to see a lot of great signs to do with the Ohio State-Penn State rivalry and all the history that they have.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, as the president of Ohio, you know what you're doing right now. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Could
What do
you
you mean?
imagine how deafening the A.J. Hawk chants
my God.
Can't wait.
are going to be on Friday?
What?
And I do believe A.J. Hawk will be making an appearance on Saturday on College
What?
Game Day. Whoa! Hey, these A.J. Hawk chants are going to be loud, as they should. This guy's got a fucking tree on campus, right? Isn't that right? We got to go visit the tree?
Yeah, a lot of people have them, yeah.
But are
If
you
you're-
one
that's
of
what
those?
the cool thing Ohio State does, yeah. If you're an All-American, they plant a Buckeye tree for you, put a little plaque.
I thought they
Actual
tore-
Buckeyes?
It's pretty
Yeah,
dope.
I thought they cut yours
Yeah,
down
Buckeye
after
tree.
you came out pro Dahmer.
What happened?
Jeffrey
I thought
Dahmer?
they cut his down once he came.
No, I don't
out
think
to
they would
support-
cut your tree down.
To be clear, I don't know if anybody on this program has ever said they're pro Dahmer.
AJ did. He wanted to live in the Ohio State dorm room
with
that
him.
Dahmer lived in, and he requested that by choice.
No, he just wanted to see, what this psychopath was living like. He didn't want it.
Oh, no, I never said anything like that. I made you guys aware that he attended Ohio State for a couple months, I believe.
I did not know Dahmer went to the Ohio State.
Yeah, he's Buckeye.
Wow.
Yeah,
Lives in AJ's dorm.
Penn State.
Dahmer
Same room.
will not be there on Friday.
No,
His
no.
spirit or anything will be there on Friday, even though he is a known Buckeye. I guess.
Yeah, and neither
He's
will
dead.
the
He's
others.
dead.
Holy shit.
Has he passed away?
Yeah, he's very dead.
Yeah,
I
He
believe
got, he got killed in jail.
I could sleep good.
Hey, that's still happening, by the way.
Getting killed in jail?
Yeah. Texas is just like, Texas has an expressway pretty much.
Death
Oh,
penalty.
nice.
Ron White has a joke about how, like other states are kind of getting rid of, and his joke is like, my state's putting in an expressway. They're trying to, it's real. Like there was, it started showing up in my algorithm all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Picture these guys. This guy was killed last night, electric chair. This guy was.
That's in your algo?
Yeah, it popped
They
in
don't
my
use the
algorithm.
electric chair anymore, do they? Isn't it all lethal injection now?
Yeah, I believe it's
Firing squad.
They
some
should.
Dahmer got beat to death by people. Dahmer didn't get. He didn't make it to the electric chair. They beat him to death.
Yeah, Dahmer had that little run, last year where everybody was learning a lot about him?
Yep.
And
Halloween.
It was at that moment where we all go, damn, have no idea humans have this capability. And then we learned he's an Ohio State Buckeye. I did not know that. Yeah. Toxic Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Cowboys Tone Diggs is here. And a man who's a 9-year NFL vet, played every position in the secondary, hosted a man-to-man podcast and everything DB. Ladies and gentlemen, Darius Butler. D-But, there's a couple games we haven't really covered as closely as we should have, and I think one of them involves the brand new Lions, who moved to 5-1 after an early loss. Now they are a team that's saying, we're 5, man. We got 5. Beat the Chiefs week 1. Obviously, start the season with a bang. Have a little adversity, but they have not had any problems, seemingly, since then. What do you like about this team, and what do we know about the brand new Lions?
Man, I like everything about this team. We talked about kind of the ebbs and flows that a lot of teams have been on. This team last 4 weeks have beat every opponent by at least 14 points. And we know it's tough to win this league. It's definitely tough to win by a couple of touchdowns. So that's crazy. And they played this game a little differently because obviously they're a ground and pound, kind of balanced play action type team. They didn't get the production out of the run game, but then Goff goes and throws for 350. St. Brown gets involved. So they can win multiple ways. Defensively, they're going to be sound every week. And they have taken on the identity of their head coach, Dan Campbell, and it's working, man.
Here's the speech that he gave post-game in the locker room where he basically brought out some props. This dude brought out an Abraham Lincoln, a $5 bill. He talked about having 5 man. His energies are always the exact same. But wait until you see who he gave a game ball to. And you hear him say, like, defense, it's going to be hard to have 11 game balls right now. But there's 2 people that he gave game balls to as we try to pull this thing up that made me go, okay. They're worried about the right stuff up there. Not only is it an offense that's incredibly consistent, we'll see what happens with David Montgomery, obviously, in a defense that is very stingy, but they're playing all 3 phases incredible. Here's Motor City Dan Campbell addressing the team afterwards, and listen to who's getting game balls over there.
I got a couple of things for you. Look what I got in my back pocket. Anybody see what that is?
Is that a 5?
I think that's a 5. I think that's a 5. I got something else here. It's 5. That's 5, gentlemen. That's an outstanding job.
I thought he was going to flip him off. Also got this.
Game balls here now. All right, defense, don't get pissed at me because it's none of you guys because all of you play so damn good. I mean, our defense is outstanding, gentlemen. It has been for a long time.
Was that the F word?
Whoa. You hold somebody to 6 points in this league? Holy crap, guys. That's what I'm talking about. Where's my other one at? All right, this one.
Give me another ball, man.
Critical. He did it last week. 2 critical punts, man. That we pinned them down to their defense.
Punter getting game balls.
All I gotta say is let's keep it rolling.
Listen to boys rally.
That's a good defense we played. It was. It's a little bit like banging your head up against the wall line. I mean, those guys do what they do. But man, we just stayed at it. And this guy showed up today in a big way, and he really has for a long time with his arm, and that's Jared Goff.
Love you boys. Love you boys. Proud to be a part of this team. That defense. You can keep doing your thing, boys.
Oh, yeah.
Love you boys. Love you boys. That's just 5. That's just 5. We're doing this. Keep on going.
He said the F word again there. Happy birthday to him.
That's 5. You guys earned it against a tough opponent. That's an outstanding job. Break it down.
So they got defense flying around. They're giving game balls to specialists, and everybody's clapping. Jared Goff gets a game ball and goes, hey, defense, that's awesome. That's a team there, AJ. That is a team there. And then you see on St. Brown's touchdown where we got people sprinting downfield, trying to make big block. Look at this Reynolds out of nowhere. Boom! Let me lead the way. I'll block one guy into 2. Decleat 1, maybe 2. Lead it for a touchdown on a 3rd and 13. Let me put my body on the line for a teammate of mine. This team is awesome. The brand new Lions have taken on the identity of their coach, but they've also taken on the identity of a team that is tight. They're a tight-knit group. Those are the best teams. Are you playing for the person or just next to the person? Feels like they're all bought in, and it's beautiful to watch, AJ.
Yeah, they're having fun, and you see the message that Goff tells them, hey, we're just boom, boom. We're continue to climb. We're not happy. We're not satisfied, but they understand, and they expect to win. I think that's the biggest thing about the Lions now. It feels like they go into games expecting to win, and everyone else kind of has that respect as well, I think, for their team. I think last night, wasn't it Chris Sims before the Sunday night game? I think he had a little segment, and he said the Lions are legit Super Bowl contenders, and like that's a real thing. Like that's not a crazy hot take anymore.
That's 2023 football. He also said that the Patriots were dead. There's no.
Oh, he did. I missed that.
Yeah, he said there's no happiness in sight for the Patriots. He said, I have respect for Bill, and I have respect for this whole thing, but you start looking at their weapons, who they're playing, there's no happiness coming around the bend. But Chris Sims talking about the Detroit Lions, it's just like, it feels like, to your point, it's understood. And whenever they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are playing great football, who have an incredible defense, 20-6. Like, that's an ass beating. We're watching all these games, these primetime games we have to stay up for. Why? Because it's like 8-point game, 10-point game. They can come back, they can come back. The Lions have been pounding people and doing exactly what everybody's expecting out of them. And obviously, it's a weird thing to say that, but this is reality. They're a bunch of fucking dogs all over the field. And GM, he's a dog as well. He was running into the tunnel screaming, let's fucking go, to all their fans that took over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers pirate ship stadium down there. It was like, I love what they're about up there, deep.
Yeah, shout out Brad Holmes putting this all together. And then, I mean, it's just crazy. Tampa coming off a bye week. Baker's been playing great ball this week. Best quarterback statistically on third down. Like I think golfer Dan Campbell said, for them to give up 6 points in an NFL game to a team and an offense coming off a bye week, very impressive.
They also got James Williams back and got him a big touchdown too, which was awesome.
Saw how pumped up Foxy was about J-Mo. He actually took a shot at Jameson instead of chugging a beer after the big time.
I legitimately screamed when he scored that touchdown because he really needed that. A lot of Lions fans have given him a lot of hate. To see him score in that moment, take a big lead, kind of sealed the game for us.
As it happens, I call Herbstreit and I go, hey, tell me a little bit about this Jameson Williams guy. Okay, tell me about J-Mo. He says, like, hey, he can be an elite deep threat for any team. I guess he was somewhere, then he transfers.
Ohio State.
He was at Ohio State, then he transfers to Alabama, becomes the guy down there from St. Louis. But I guess he is a guy who has been known in the past to potentially get a little emotional, get a little bit overexcited. It's like, well, is he not in the perfect locker room, right? It feels like Dan Campbell has that place ready to go for everybody. So if J-Mo's just getting started, which is what we think, for them to have that deep threat with Laporta, with their run game that they're able to have, Amon-Ra St. Brown is able to make plays, it's like they got the weapons. Their defense held Tampa to 6 points. Their specialists, Jack Fox is one of the best to ever do it. It's like all three phases look out, and you add in this guy making plays with Jared Goff, it's like, here we go. Are the fucking brand new Lions the Super Bowl favorites in the NFC after what we just saw happen with the Niners and what happened with the Eagles? Who knows what's going to happen tonight with the Cowboys? It's like, why not the brand new Lions? And I know you are a little uncomfortable every time that comes out of your mouth because you're a Green Bay Packer. You know, a couple weeks ago, Lions were favored in Lambeau with 2 starting quarterbacks playing for the first time in
almost 30 years, 40 years.
And AJ, you were learning that stat on air, and you were like, almost like, yeah, that's like we can see in your head go like, what the fuck has happened to the Green Bay Packers? But it's not about what has happened to the Packers or anybody else. It's what has happened to the Lions. And every single move that they've made has seemingly made them a better football team. What a dream situation up there in the Motor City.
Yeah, and Jared Goff, I'm happy for him. It shows you like they feel like they've empowered him and kind of given him the tools and the keys to play his best football right now, and he seems super confident. And when you're showing that Jameson Williams touchdown catch, like that's an impossible catch. He turns over his right shoulder, and then turns back over to his left, and then comes back to like a back shoulder fall down touchdown catch as the defenders draped all over him. Like that's very difficult to do. It really is.
And if you look at that, it was 3rd and 10 there. It was 3rd and 13 on Amon-Ra St. Brown's touchdown. Like third down, money down. They have the explosivity to be able to pull this type of shit off. And adding J-Mo, that's a great catch, bro.
Unbelievable.
Hand in there on his
great
chest.
Coverage. Great coverage too.
Yeah, that's adding this weapon to the Lions. I mean, the hand is on the ball.
Yeah. Whoa. That concentration. I think Jahmyr Gibbs isn't even in there yet and really involved in the offense. Hey, Montgomery, how serious is his injury?
Oh, we didn't ask Schefter.
It sounds like it could be a couple weeks from what Twitter's saying, but who knows if that's true.
Yeah, because this is the second time, I believe.
Jahmyr Gibbs on sideline standing, right? If I do recall from watching the game. I didn't have the sound on the entire time, but I did see him on the sideline standing. That's good news.
I think he'll be back soon.
Yeah, that seems to be good. We're not doctors, but that feels like that's good news every time you see it.
Yeah, that was his second week with a hamstring, so you would think at least probably after this one he should be good to go.
Yeah, and I don't know about like resting your hammy or whatever, but like if it was bad, you would think they would have him
not standing up the whole game.
sitting as opposed to, just natural human instinct. Let's get you as healthy as fucking possible.
Right.
But good for you, Fox.
Hey, as a fan, I've said this to the boys multiple times now. I wake up on Sunday and I expect to win these football games, and it's the weirdest thing in the entire world. This is actually the first time in my life I can say that, because with those Stafford teams, they didn't have all three phases. It was always one phase, maybe two phases. But this team, all three of them are out of this world, and it's so awesome to see.
Well, Jack Fox had like his first bad day ever in the NFL 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Exactly.
And then yesterday he just starts pinning them.
Sealed the game.
It's a big deal, man. That's a huge deal.
Yes.
You have that guy. You can pin people consistently like that. That's a giant thing that people overlook all the time.
Yeah, I mean, he's a dog.
And Goff.
Dan Campbell played some special teams, though. That's the thing. Dan Campbell played plenty of special teams in his NFL career. He understands. He gets how important the punt is.
Hell yeah. Brand new lines.
Huge day special teams wise. Like A.J. Cole, he pinned the Pats deep, and then Zerline, I think he was 4 for 4 or 4 for 5.
Tucker goes 6 for 6 or whatever, and also a big punt return in that game.
Huge,
Yeah, special teams was huge yesterday. Huge.
Always is.
Sometimes it gets spotlighted a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yesterday it was kickers all over the place and that big return to start the day over there in London, but like Jack Fox gets a game ball after a fucking win.
It's big.
Yeah.
That in the locker room, hell yeah.
I don't know if I've seen that happen. I don't know if I've seen a punter get a game ball before.
Did you get one Houston game?
I have later. Never in the locker room directly after the game. I've seen it later, like on a Monday or Tuesday when they do it.
I would assume, like in a team meeting where you're giving out game balls and shit, there's very rarely a game where I didn't get one if we won. But in the locker room, I think of Houston. I think when I kicked once, I kicked to myself.
Yep.
I think I got one there.
That was huge.
That was hysterical that happened. If I don't get that, just go right in the locker room and leave.
Was that the year where you guys got like 4?
Yeah, tied NFL record. Yeah,
Then they changed the rule, right?
Yeah, a lot of that. We don't have to talk about it. But a lot of people that compare me to other punters, it's like, did they kick off too? And were they the best ever? Oh, okay. All right, just didn't know. Didn't know if we want to talk about that or not. You know what I mean? Have that entire thing. Graham Gano's still fucking doing it.
Yeah.
He is still doing it out there.
Yeah.
Now, he missed a couple kicks, I think, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
But he had a kickoff like 85 yards last night. That dude's the same age as me. I'm like, bro, what the fuck is wrong? There's got to be some sort of metal in that goddamn leg. The opening graphic last night for Sunday Night Football, it was like Graham Gano, and then it said he had 15 kickoffs, 18 touchbacks. And then they put his percentage at like 83%. I was like, the math ain't mathing.
Yeah.
But I think I understand what you're trying to say. You saw the Titans yesterday, fair catch a kickoff in London, Vrabel. That's you. That's Ohio.
Yeah, what's going on? What happened?
He's on the competition committee. He was one of the people that I guess that voted this whole thing in.
The hell?
Why is he doing that, AJ?
Come on, Mike.
Hey, just taking care of his guys. Didn't want to get any more high-speed collisions.
I'm calling him.
Yeah, they did have that one.
Definitely
year.
FaceTime. He's probably in a good mood.
I'm FaceTiming him right now. They're in a bye, right, this week?
After a loss, yeah.
There was a punter, too. Tried to get in the fight.
Vrabel's reactions were up there with Artie
Hacker,
Smith yesterday, too.
Hacker's a dog. Hey, I'm live. If this answers, just go ahead and mute it. He's probably in the middle between his 15th and 30th cigarette of the day.
Yeah. Maybe even an afternoon beer.
AJ, why isn't he answering? What's this guy's doing?
I have a good idea why I would not answer this call as well.
He just hit the fuck you.
Can you imagine? I would love to see watch his reaction if he was standing by somebody and he shows his phone to people.
Is he live right? His show is live right now, right?
Call back. Call him one more time.
Yeah, maybe it's on Do Not Disturb.
Hey, emergency, need you.
Yeah,
AJ,
right now.
AJ telling you.
Call one of his sons. Tell his son to get him on the hold. On there.
I don't have any of the kids' numbers. I only got his number. And I kind of forced him into it. He got a little boozed up in Tahoe.
Right.
I was like, hey, I got to text you.
AJ, is he?
And now I'm abusing this relationship.
No.
Is he a guy who's happy after losses normally, or?
Yeah, super happy.
What do you think, Diggs? I don't think he's handled it great.
Imagine him answering going, fuck you. Stop calling me.
Yeah.
Blocks my number.
Hangs up.
That's two
No,
fuck
but
yous.
third is for the Do Not
You're
Disturb.
not doing a third time, are you? You're
You
not
might
gonna
have
call
Do
him a
Not
third
Disturb
time.
on.
3 strikes, you're out. Those are the rules.
I just texted him, Coach.
He's like, hey, man, this is a real world. I got real life issues over here trying to coach a squad.
Yeah, but I'm trying not to get fucking fired right now. Okay, and you're what, FaceTiming me in the middle of your show? What do you want to ask?
Quarterback
Why'd you know why you're losing? Fair catch and kickoffs, Coach. Okay, let's.
Football gods don't like that.
What's the reason for that? Like, for real, what's the coach? Why does he make that decision? Tell him to do it.
Just, it's easy. I mean, it's an easy thing. Like, that score was like 9-6, I think, whenever he did that, too.
A lot of field goals next.
So there was no real offense happening. So I don't know why you wouldn't want to just roll the dice and have a return, but also it's just like very easy. Because we saw a couple guys yesterday, I think, hit a high short ball. They didn't fair catch. You tackle them at like the 15 or the 20. So when your offense isn't doing great, to even set yourself up behind the 8 ball that you could get at the 25, it's just like an easy, hey, we'll get the ball at the 25 here regardless. Yeah, easy.
All right, analytics.
Yeah, I would assume there's some stats and analytics that tell you start at the 25 as opposed to like the 18, the percentage of scoring and what it is and all that. So
some guys must be good at it too. Like the Rams, they fair caught one and they didn't fair catch all of them, but one of them they did because Prater hit it so high. By the time he caught the ball, they had dudes at the 20.
Prater hit a 55-yarder, I think, yesterday, halfway up the net.
Yes, he did.
I don't understand him either. I don't know what he's doing. He's fucking ridiculous. He's like this tall, too. I mean, it's, you know what I mean?
What can you do as a kicker to make your legs stronger as a kicker? Just kick more balls? What is it?
No, so explosive exercises. So, you're trying to get explosion is the biggest key to being a kicker.
You got to get your hip and your hip flexors and everything have to be very healthy and explosive. Yeah, clean.
Yeah, cleans are the thing. Box jumps, cleans, that type of stuff. I don't know what Prater's doing. Feels like Prater just is going to be able to murder footballs forever. Yep. I love the way he kicks. That Moody kid, that's a tough break.
That was brutal. Yeah. In Cleveland, too, you always talk about how tough it is to kick.
Cleveland sucks. You did not want to kick him.
I just assumed he'd make it. Didn't you assume he'd make it and Cleveland would be Cleveland? Oh, here we were so close. Here we go.
He posted a picture beforehand, too. His family's there. His whole family's there.
Oh, Moody.
Because he's out there and they're near. Yeah. So then he had a chance there. Because Brock Purdy did. Hey, we need one. Boom, 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 boom. All the conversation about the ball slipping out of my hands being too small, maybe. All the bad decisions that I never, ever made before, but I was making today. We were just off today. Schwartz was doing his thing against Shanahan. Does not matter. All we need is one drive. That's all they were saying.
Did it.
Hey, all we need is one drive. We've played bad football today, but if we piece together one fucking drive, none of it matters. And we just take this game ball and we move the fuck on. Yeah. And Purdy did that. So I think that's a big deal. I think that is something that's not going to get talked about. What's going to get talked about is that Purdy had a bad day. We get it. But when they needed it, Purdy showed up with his moxie and they get in there. And then, you think Moody with how great he's been.
Yeah.
9-9 going into the, preseason wasn't great. There was a couple games in preseason where I was like, wait a minute. Is this guy not going to be able to adapt to an NFL ball, the NFL pressures, everything like that? Because there's money on the line as opposed to college. And then regular season started, it was like, oh, Moody was just waiting for it to fucking matter. And then once it started mattering, he's a little bit more focused. So I assumed that one was going, I thought that one was going dead center on that thing. And I was like pumped for him. And then we just move on for the Niners. But instead now, his NFL journey is going to take a little bit of adversity. It's going to build up a callus. And I think it's going to make him a much better kicker in the long run. With that being said, earning those calluses are never fun. Yeah. Those are very terrible days. And whenever you have a teammate like Fred Warner, who spoke about the field goal after the game, it certainly helps. But this type of leadership in the locker room is why you have to have a belief that what happened with the Browns and the Niners, anomaly for this particular Niners team.
They earned it, and we didn't this game. That's what it came down to. I would never put it on Moody at the end there to say, it's great that we had an opportunity to win that, in that fashion, but we didn't earn it. They earned it today. I said that win or loss, I felt like we needed this game. We knew what type of game it was going to be. In order for us to be the team that we want to be moving forward, we need to get battle tested. That's exactly what today was. We learned from it, watch the tape, look at it hard internally, and be better from it.
Professional outfit. Fred Warner had another massive day. He's going to continue to do that. But I just think this was an anomaly. I think it's Jim Schwartz. They got to hope they don't run into him again. But I still have belief that the Niners are going to be okay.
Yeah, not worried about this team at all. You have these type of games. Sometimes it's weather. Sometimes it's just performance. But, they're 5-1. They're sitting 5-1 in what is 51 years now that we've seen it since we've seen the team go perfect. So, you're going to have an L.
Going to take an L every once in a while.
That'll happen.
Still believe in Brock. Brock's still a dog.
Yeah, PJ Walker.
Hey, they're thinking about maybe him putting a glove on.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I feel great throwing with a glove on.
Me too.
Yeah.
Especially in the weather, they have technology now that even if it's wet, it makes it more grippy.
Yeah, you got to get the right glove though, because a lot of the gloves, when you get slick, you got to take them off because they're too tacky. They get a little moisture on them. The ball falls right out of their hand.
Yeah, you got to get the Kurt Warner, Peyton Manning glove that is leather as opposed to the tacky stuff. And whenever it gets wet, it actually gets more mole grippy. And we're not saying every single game Purdy needs to be rocking a glove, but why not? Why even have that risk unless he wants to feel that pigskin bull? Which might be the case with Purdy.
Yeah, which you would respect too. And you assume hopefully you get McCaffrey back, or at least in some aspect, have him take some time and get healthy.
Yeah, what was he talking about?
Yeah, why is it much? Why does it feel like a huge deal?
It feels like one because Florio was like they're being
Leaks are weird.
Quiet about it, and then Schefter's like, well, Christian McCaffrey keeps that thing on lock and key or whatever. It's like he had a hamstring last year. I found out immediately after the game.
Yeah,
everyone knew
because
that.
we lost parlay because of it.
Ringo,
and also
Houston Texans.
Shefty knows, like he's plugged in with the Niners, so he knows exactly what's going on.
And we asked what the fear level was. He said maybe miss the next game, right? Didn't know. They got a quick one here. They playing on Thursday.
Let me guess.
Debo's shoulder as well. Like if those two guys, who knows? Obviously,
Trent too.
Game's over, but Trent, like Dre Greenlaw, like game's over. But how often?
No, they play Monday night at Minnesota.
I'll save an extra day
at Minnesota.
Keep 'em out.
They'll be fine.
What's that?
Keep 'em.
Yeah, I don't need him.
But I think obliques, those core muscle injuries, usually those are at least a couple weeks. I think. And for him not to come back into this game, especially with how this game was, it had to be pretty serious.
Yeah, I think so too. But this year, it felt like Christian McCaffrey was like more durable than ever.
Yes.
Because Christian McCaffrey runs himself into car crashes. Like that is just how he plays. You agree, AJ? I mean, I don't want to talk out of pocket.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I feel like every time he has the ball in his hands, he expects to score, no matter what.
And if there's 3 guys standing here and there's a crack, I can make it through this crack. So he is speeding up into not trying to I'll miss it. He is speeding into crashes on a regular basis. That's how he's always played. That's just the style of player he is. That leads to good shit like this right here where he's seemingly untackleable. And then every once in a while, it'll lead to muscle strains because he's so explosive, some hard shots that could potentially do some damage to him. And this year, he was just taking those shots and just getting right back up. It was very impressive with what his body had become. Oblique, though, there ain't nothing.
No.
But that involves everything.
Everything.
That's everything you do is in
your back a little. I think it's a little bit like you're hurting your back, where every single breath, every little movement, you feel it. It just depends, I guess, on how bad it truly is.
He still will be whenever he comes back, whenever that is, hopefully sooner than later, because the NFL I love the NFL whenever he's playing football.
Yeah.
But he's Offensive Player of the Year.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's getting MVP consideration. We're talking about him winning the MVP.
Who are you?
Tyreek would be up there with him.
Yeah.
But 15 games in a row this dude scored. C-Mac is unbelievable, but you look at Tyreek. They're in the discussion for the most valuable player outside of a quarterback. Tyreek is damn near.
He is 186 yards away from 1,000 on the season already.
Tyreek is hilarious.
He had a scary hammy, but it was a cramp, I guess. Do you see him pull up, and they said it was a cramp-like situation?
Yeah, they thought it was maybe a strained hammy. Thank God it was not that. He came back out there. There's some breaking news coming out of Buffalo Bills. It was a very scary evening for a little bit last night. Another primetime game with the Buffalo Bills players on the ground with their whole team around them praying.
Yeah.
With another very basic-looking tackle. And I think with Damar Hamlin being there, obviously they showcased him. I was kind of an uncomfortable situation when Damen Harris was on the ground for me at home. I just felt like, oh, no, here we go again. Then you bring the ambulance out, and Damar Hamlin's.
Yeah.
That was.
I don't know if that's a place where you want to be, but
that was interesting.
I do appreciate the fact that the ambulance company is like, hey, we were a part of the. There had to be a different way to go about doing that instead of the windows of the ambulance.
Yeah, just not doing it.
Anyways, something, maybe on the side
or
somewhere.
Also, wasn't it in Cincinnati?
It was, it was.
It wasn't in Buffalo.
Yeah, so there's a lot there.
Just a really weird decision.
I love first responders. I have EMTs in my family. I have firefighters in my family, so I got nothing but respect. But everybody that saw Hamlin 3 on the back of the ambulance was like...
It was weird.
That seems like a place you wouldn't want your name. But Damar Hamlin obviously makes it through an incredibly scary situation last year. Thought we had another one. Damen Harris ends up going down on a very routine tackle. Jordan Schultz is saying, great news. Damen Harris, who went to a local hospital last night, has full movement in his extremities and suffered what we're told is a neck sprain in his otherwise good. I assume he was scared to death about a feeling in his neck. They said before he went into the ambulance, he gave a thumbs up. They said he did have movement in his legs and arms, so I think we were all very comfortable in what was potentially taking place. But now we're getting news that it was a neck sprain, which I don't think I fully comprehend or know what the next steps are, but we're very thankful that it's that instead of something we thought it could have been.
Always a super scary moment when you see a player down there not moving. We obviously saw the worst of it with DeMar, but that thumbs up is like always like a huge moment. I felt great, obviously, after that happened. And then you got the report later that there was movement. But shout out to Schultz for the
breaking news there from Mo Schultz.
Breaks a lot.
Yeah, he's in there.
He does.
He does.
He texted me when I was in Seattle. He was like, "You need any tips or anything like that?"
Oh yeah, you get Starbucks.
I did drink Starbucks in Seattle.
Was it different?
You glue your head to the counter?
I did not. I didn't see. There was protests happening, I guess, over there. I didn't see any of them. I didn't see any protests. Did see some homeless folks, obviously. Going to a big city, that's going to happen. But all in all, I was very impressed with the city of Seattle. Mount Rainier is this snow-capped mountain. It's basically just in the backdrop of everything. You look at it, it's like, oh, that's a fucking mountain.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like, there's some hills
That's
we
a
see
mountain.
and like some lead up to, I think we've been to a couple places that have like, it's not the Rockies, but it's like close to the Rockies.
Foothills.
The foothills of the Rockies, and they're beautiful. But then Mount Rainier is just vast. Are people climbing that? I don't know. Is that
Probably.
It was super like snow-capped.
A lot of hiking, I assume.
Yeah, people probably do like the whole carry up snowboard skis too.
It was beautiful. It was in the background of like a lot of the views, and then like,
Heli-ski. You dropped off on a helicopter
There you
on
go.
skis, right? Do people do that?
I've seen some documentaries of that. That seems like so much time.
Serious, pretty serious. A lot of money too.
But I appreciate their commitment. You know what I mean? I think the Tomato built a ramp in the middle of a mountain that he used to have to get choppered into to practice so nobody could see him. It's like, respect that you guys are that committed to it, and I hope you continue to crush it. But like Mount Rainier, then the Puget Sound's there, and then there's the way it's all set up. It was like, I did not expect it to be as beautiful as it was. Downtown, trees lining the roads.
Love that.
Nice.
That's
Downtown.
my favorite fucking thing.
So it's just like true greenery in the middle of downtown. It was much different than I thought it was going to be.
I've been
That was
told
great.
here by Google that Mount Rainier is one of the largest and most challenging endurance climbs in the United States.
I would assume, like just looking at it, I'm like, God damn, that fucker is huge. That's all I kept thinking to myself. It almost came out on game day where I was like, on the other side of this library is the biggest fucking hill. It was very impressive.
I said it was an active volcano.
Oh yeah.
yeah. It's been a long, long time since it's erupted. But
They're
it's-
everywhere, D-Butt.
If
How long?
Yellowstone goes, it'll go.
Oh shit.
So is it like one leads to the other, like dominoes? Is that what volcanoes are?
I thought Yellowstone is if that were to ever erupt, that a majority of things in the United States would explode.
Oh, if Yellowstone erupts, it's game over.
Yeah.
So what are we doing? I know they got that geyser over there. We just need to plug it.
Yeah.
No, we got to go to
How do we
Pittsburgh
plug it?
or Miami.
Can we not just put a plug in it?
I
Like for
don't see why
AI,
not.
unplug it.
Yeah.
Unplug AI.
Sure.
Easy as that. Can't kill us if we just unplug the computer.
Yeah.
For the volcano, just plug it. The total energy release would be equivalent to 875,000 megaton explosion. The shockwave would kill 90,000 people. Most of the lava would fall back into the crater. Any flows would be slow and only spread 40 to 50 kilometers or so if Yellowstone went off.
So never mind, we're good.
Well,
That's
you
not-
can't trust BBC science. That's English. If we need a United States science focus group to do
Here,
this.
right here, people also ask, would the U.S. survive if Yellowstone erupted?
Here we go.
The death toll would be in the millions.
Okay.
All right, so immediately different than what we just learned up
that's
there.
what I thought.
But does the U.S. survive this? Yes, in the long term. There would be areas largely unaffected by the eruption, particularly the West Coast, who would be protected by the mountains and the prevailing winds, and the East Coast, who would be protected by distance. Oh, so good where we are.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
We're dead.
good.
Well,
No, right here.
We're good.
West
It's
Coast-
not making it out here.
West
It's not
Coast
getting to
is
us.
dead.
The first definition I heard was nobody's dead.
Yeah, that's England propaganda, though. That's classic London getting back at us for.
Yeah, they're using
gotta
kilometers,
go
so
from
you
90
can't trust
to
it.
millions.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what we're talking about, though, when everybody's so matter of fact with everything. Here is one thing that's pretty important that a lot of people have looked into.
Yep.
In just a matter of 2 scrolls, 2 completely different answers.
Is there a third
And
source?
both people are probably supposed to give the right answer.
Yeah.
This is the world that we're in right now. We learn more, but we understand less. None of it makes sense. But I think we're dead, is what I just read.
Yeah, it appears as if.
It'd be a problem.
Can we plug this thing
There we
and
go.
get it under
There's a
control?
third, we need a third source.
How far would the damage go? What would happen if a super volcano eruption occurred at Yellowstone? Again at Yellowstone. If another large, so they're not going to give us an answer.
No, there it is, right down there.
That is
such a giant eruption would have regional effects such as falling ash and short-term changes in global climate.
Yeah, remember we had a bunch of smoke this summer.
I'm not worried about it at all.
Forest fires.
Just, if you live over there, you're dead.
How are those done?
I think so.
Are the Canada fires done?
Into the season where it's about to be.
Little season's over.
A little cooler now.
So,
like the fires.
What started? How did they start? Did we ever get an answer?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, laser beam from the moon.
All right,
that's one of the answers.
That's certainly one of the answers that was out there. That
believable.
What's that?
Believable.
D-Bot. Can't have everybody on this show.
D-Bot, you coming around?
I mean,
did you see the birds aren't real sign out there at game day?
Did I see it? I wrote it. Mailed that thing out there. Had someone else hold it for me.
I said, there's people that believe that. And Herbie goes, really? And I go, Boston Connor. He's one of them.
Yeah.
And he goes, what? And then he started like belly laughing backwards.
Well, it's not like this is unwarranted, people. The CIA has done, they did this in the 70s. You think they just did this without doing anything after?
Yeah.
They just test things and then they just die? That's not how it works.
Okay. All birds, not all birds. You're saying just
I'd love to see the '70s fake birds, Con, man. I bet they look very realistic.
No, that's where they originally tested it. AJ, don't patronize me, you son of a bitch. Okay.
It does feel like your community has more people than any of us could have expected.
It's growing. It's growing by the day. It's truly magnificent to see the movement being taken seriously.
Like-minded people.
Hey, let's talk about being out there in Washington. That Washington football team's good.
Real deal.
Legit.
They're gritty. They are a gritty bunch.
Looked like a tough place to get a win, didn't it?
Yeah, that stadium is also built like pretty much straight up on either side.
Awesome.
And obviously it has a good view, but their fans showed up. I love that they got a big-time dub. I appreciate the fact that when Penix needed a touchdown, it took them 2 plays. Bang, boom. How you doing? Keep it moving. He has a Heisman moment now under his belt in beating Oregon, his biggest rival, and having to make a play, a couple of them at the end, to lift his team. In Oregon, I think they only dropped 1 spot because of how they played. A lot of respect was shown for both of those teams by the voters, but also after watching it was like, great fucking football game. Like, so, as I was watching it, I'm like, I am so thankful that college football is delivering the way it is. And the Archer is now the favorite to win the Heisman after that weekend's game. I mean, it was a beautiful weekend out there.
Dez got the crowd chanting for him. Obviously, that goes huge, a long way in his Heisman campaign, I believe.
Damn right. He's got his.
I did not expect that. I'll tell you, that
great
came out
TV. Great TV, Dez.
Loved it.
That came out of nowhere. I was literally sitting on there. Because he just sat down with him and did a full interview with him. I'm like, is this Devon Achan situation?
Oh, true.
Like, I've been pronouncing his name wrong the entire time. That was not the case.
Okay.
I do believe there was just a little excitement from Des.
Sure.
And there was a lot of those signs out there, too. So I appreciate that they're living off that big Penix energy. I think it still plays.
Yeah,
I think so.
Definitely.
I think
Yeah, it does.
Not as much. Not as much, but yeah, it still plays.
Yeah.
We just got to find the beat for it. I don't know if we found the beat for it just yet.
I mean, it's a new song.
Yeah.
Let the guy find it. You know what I mean? Let the guy find it. That was a fun place, dude. Their fans are the real deal. Had some people come after me about the fish. Hope I was happy.
What do you mean? That you killed an innocent fish?
I didn't cut the head off the fish that was tossed to me, but some people were not happy that the fish was a little prop, for you to get your little entertainment. It's like, all right, to be clear, did not know I was getting fish thrown at me.
The already dead fish, that's what they were mad about?
Yeah. And we don't know how many fish are in there either.
Walk down to Pike Place Market, there's 1,000 being thrown an hour. It's right down the road.
Well, I don't know if those people are seeing those people on a daily basis, but they did see me. And I said, oh, don't fish the fish. I'm talking about noodling.
Right.
You know what I mean? They were talking about.
Oh, get your head out of the gutter.
Disgusting.
Come on.
It was disgusting.
Come on.
It was disgusting.
As if you wouldn't kill a fish if you did that.
I will say, when I tossed that fish back and that guy caught it and then made it wiggle.
That was awesome.
There was people that were like,
if it was alive.
Is that fish still alive?
Yeah, that was a good gimmick.
That's exactly what I did.
Actually, when I threw it back to him and I saw it, I was like,
It was a little hand on the back of it. Yeah, for real. I legit had to rewatch. I'm like, wait, is that thing living still?
I was freaking out too. I was very flushed. I did not know that was happening. Would like everybody to know. That grab bag, we legitimately have no idea what's coming out of that thing. So I actually looked back, and then they were like, "That
kind
guy's
of body caught it too."
Had to.
I didn't expect that from you.
Yeah.
The hands, I got a very.
Yeah, I have great hands.
Yeah.
That is something that does not get chatted about a lot. I do. But as that thing was flying at me, it's like, do I want to catch it, secure the catch?
Got to.
You got to secure it.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't
use whatever it takes. Use your body. Use whatever it takes. Those things are slimy. You don't know how much lube is on that sucker.
Bingo. And also scales can.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Those
they
things
come off.
pretty
I
good.
was worried about the jacket.
So, fun fact. Jacket did reek of fish for the rest of the show.
Yeah. Come on.
I walked by Dubs, the dog, and I said this on game day. It was real. I took a photo. Dubs, the dog, started like sniffing he was a lot more interested all of a sudden whenever I left. But yeah, I didn't know.
Had to secure it.
Had to.
So he looks dead there.
Has no head, I don't think. It actually has no head.
Oh, really? Oh, that thing's alive.
Yeah.
Reese with a good catch, too, in his suit.
He was so
He's
mad.
alive still. Still alive. Cut open.
Then he just throws it into the crowd.
Yeah.
That
was fish
He
mouth.
should have punted it. What if he'd have punted it in the crowd?
Because I had just felt the one fish and how heavy it was, and I was like, are we sure we need to? Yeah, he did.
What if that knocked somebody out cold?
So it would have been, the kids took that, shout out to This Generation, took that, dumped a beer in it, and I shouldn't be saying this. They didn't do this.
That's fun.
They thought about
Talking
doing
about it.
Seems
Good
like they
for
were
these
talking
kids.
about it. Yeah, kid went down full on a knee.
Fishy.
I was waiting for you to
Yes.
put the what was left of the fish head into the camera and start having it sing like a big mouth Billy Bass.
Oh, yes. What's that song that it sings?
Don't worry. Be
That's one of
happy.
It's a good
Be
song,
happy.
With the tail that just shoots.
Yeah, that thing's sweet.
One of my friends had one, and it was motion detector, like all of them. And it was middle of the night. I was sleeping in a room, and I did not know that fucker was in there. I went and took a piss. I came back, and all of a sudden, with the sound of it, don't worry. And I was like, what the fuck? Turn the light on, and it's this damn bass fish staring at me, singing to me. I'm like, okay, can we turn this thing off, or how does this thing work? That thing has been sold millions and millions and millions of those things.
Oh, yeah.
They love their fish out there. That crab cake that I ate,
Pretty solid.
Legit.
Fresh catch, I assume.
it was delightful.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a salmon guy, though.
Yeah, only if I have to be.
Reese said the salmon that he had on the desk was better than most salmons that he's had, and he's a salmon guy.
Okay.
That's a big deal.
He seems like a foodie. He seems like a guy that's super cultured and into like nice food.
Super cultured. I have no idea if he is a foodie. It would make sense, though. To your point, it would make sense. Yeah, that's the salmon.
Salmon, you can tell too.
Yeah.
Like you can rank salmons against other salmons. Him saying that salmon was better than most salmons is a big deal.
Okay, so you're a salmon guy.
I love
salmon.
salmon. Yeah, love salmon. Salmon out here versus obviously like the East Coast. Anywhere there are freshwater sources immediately there, it's a game changer.
So I had the crab cake sandwich just because I saw a bun, and I was like, all right, give me this one. I'm not a big fish guy, but it was delightful. Yeah, he's doing full food judge right there, isn't he? Full bites.
Salmon with the hands too.
I can't believe the sun was up. That was a wild time.
That
Pitch
place-
black out there.
Yeah, it looked nuts.
All right, let's go to some overreactions and get the fuck out of here and make our picks for Chargers and Cowboys. Ty went through a number one trend on X this morning. I can't thank everybody enough because once I put out the tweet, it's like, hey, listen, good morning. Hope you had a great weekend. Now, I think you should take this time to let all of your emotions out from yesterday. It's a nice therapeutic thing.
Oh, yeah.
And for us, we get a taste of where every NFL fan base is at as we look ahead to NFL Week 7. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for... Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but... Nobody wants to overreact, but it's only natural, especially in this NFL season. Ty picked out some of his favorites. Once again, it did end up being a number one trend, so we appreciate you all for participating on this glorious Overreaction Monday. Let's dive in, shall we? Taylor at Tay_GF. Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but the Browns are the best team in the NFL. The 49ers couldn't beat a practice squad quarterback, a backup running back, and a banged-up O-line. Why? Because Jim Schwartz is the GOAT. Jim's our savior and the God I believe in. Be right back, running through a wall for that man. Hashtag pumped. With a nice little edit of we lost to the Browns of George Kittle. George Kittle only had 1 yard. We assume he's going to be able to bounce back. But I don't think this is an overreaction. They should be loving Jim Schwartz like this, AJ.
Yeah, they should. This is what I mentioned earlier on the show. Like, I know a lot of diehard Cleveland Browns fans, and they all feel this exact same way. They feel like, hey, we beat the Niners at home. We can beat anybody. We can do anything, even with a backup quarterback. So yeah, I don't know if it's warranted yet or not, but hey, they're playing awesome football right now.
They're praying to baby Jesus Jim Schwartz, and Stefanski's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
He is very happy that Jim Schwartz is there as well. A massive win over the Niners will kind of quiet any conversation about anything else happening around the Browns for at least another week. Let's dive into another overreaction at Thonk G's. This is Thonk. Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but the Bills are dead. Blow it up. Games like last night's is why no one is taking them seriously. They play to the level of their opponent. The slander is justified. D-Butt, your thoughts?
The slander is definitely justified. I mean, he's got a point. He or she has a point. This is why people, you talk about the last 3 years, they've kind of been on the team. Hey, they're going to go win it all. Josh's going to win the MVP, and they just haven't lived up to it.
A lot of this, I assume.
A lot of this, yeah.
Thonk was speaking for a lot of
big
people.
time. Yeah, next to no positive overreactions for the Bills after last night's game.
Bills get a win, too. Not easy to
Exactly.
win in the NFL. Get a win, 1 yard away from a loss. Pass interference over Darren Waller to end the game. Nonetheless, Bills get a win. They move on. Fans still very worried about the product that's been put on the field by the Buffalo Bills. Although, hey, Von Miller's going to get hot.
Yes, exactly.
Stephon Diggs is still open.
Right.
Josh Allen will still be able to do his thing. Don't understand the James Cook, Latavius Murray situation.
No.
Happy for Latavius Murray getting another shot, but whenever they did like I forget if it was like a handheld or sky cam was behind him, and I saw Murray lined up at running back.
Yeah.
I was like, Latavius Murray, he is on the Bills.
A-train.
And then I thought to myself, Cook must be hurt. That's not the case.
Had a great game.
Latavius was a starter last night.
Yeah, I think Cook has some issues in pass protection, too, and I think Latavius is a better pass protector.
Speaking of, they had number 76 at tight end in motion. They had another offensive lineman on the field to protect Josh Allen. Feels like they thought maybe he was getting hit too much, so they tried to make an adjustment. It did not work. They snuck out of there with a win over the New York Giants. Let's go to another overreaction. This is Drake Beekman from the soccer capital at Draco Beeks. So he's from the United States.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
Yep, for sure.
Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but the Eagles are fugazi. Every game they have played before yesterday, they squeaked by, and we say they just looked a little off. Starting to think instead of they are just not the same team and will heavily disappoint come playoffs. A lot of people I've seen writing that this is what happens when the Eagles play a decent team. AJ, is Drake Beekman overreacting here?
I don't think it's completely unjustified. I think you can be a little bit worried if you are an Eagles fan. I mean, Jalen turned the ball over 3 times. You throw 3 picks, you're going to have a tough time beating anybody in the NFL. But, yeah, I mean, all these teams, like the Bills and the Eagles both, yeah, they might be some bump in the road. Here we go, roller coaster. But if they can find a way to, hit their stride towards the end of the season, that's what matters. But going back to the Bills, they were able to win one of those games like that. You can squeak it out, hey, it's still a win. We can play our best football at the end. Tough for the Eagles here to actually lose to the Jets. I mean, yeah, you always want to say, like, we figured it out. We're going to go on a roller coaster, but we're going to play good at the end. But it's been, consistently, it hasn't looked like we thought it would look, I should say.
11 games left, though. A lot of growth can still happen for both teams, but I appreciate Drake losing his mind here early. Call him a fugazi.
Whoa.
Let's go to another overreaction, shall we? This is from Patrick Rye at Patrick Rye. Good for you getting your own Twitter account. Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but Mike Vrabel will be jettisoned by the Titans after this hot dog water season just in time for him to return to New England when Robert Kraft suplexes Bill Belichick over the top rope. That would be a crazy suplex if he was able to do that right out to the side, maybe even a superplex off the top rope if Robert Kraft did that. But I assume if Vrabel was to no longer be the Titans head coach, which is a possibility in the NFL, we called him, he didn't answer, that's another strike against him as well. We can clearly say that. He's going to be wanted in a lot of places. He's going to be wanted in a lot of places, we assume.
I don't know if New England, do you think New England would pursue him, and would he be interested in taking a New England?
No.
Which we're talking about a guy, he's still the head coach of the Titans, obviously, but I think that would not be the spot.
Why no?
Quarterback. If I'm a coach, that's the first thing I'm looking at. Who
Who's
is
the
the quarterback?
Well, I mean, it's not like he's working with a great one now.
Yeah, but I mean, New England's not going to, just like we just talked about with Frank Wright, obviously you don't know how many opportunities you're going to get, but as we all think, Mike Vrabel will be a hot name if he's ever available.
Which is interesting, because of how this has all gone. But I think the world knows, like, okay, Tannehill, interesting scene there where you had to just stand there and watch Malik. And then get the cart. That was an interesting scene to kind of start the day. Sorry about that with Tannehill. Malik Willis doesn't appear to be, a guy that's going to be able to lead them to a Super Bowl. And then you think about the dead cap money. I saw somebody tweet about this because they let A.J. Brown go. They have so much dead cap money over there. They're in a bad spot in Tennessee. I think the rest of the NFL knows that. So if Vrabel was to be let go, the rest of the NFL would go, oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Why don't you come on in here? Maybe Vrabes, though, takes a year off, smokes cigs, plays golf.
Right.
I wonder if he could take a year off. Now he's been so embedded as a coach now for how many years? Over 10, 15 years now at least. So I don't know if he could just take a year off and hang out, or I can't see Vrabes going and being like a consultant somewhere either.
Yeah.
There's no chance they ever.
He's in football, and he's like the face of the Titans.
Yeah, they can't let go of him.
Well, and with Reich, I assume Carolina was the only place that offered him a head job. Like, if Vrabel were to get let go, you would assume that however many coaching openings, they'd reach out to him. I assume,
including Carolina.
Yeah, I assume it'd be a little bit harder to turn those down if you have 5 or 6 teams who are interested in your services.
Let's go to another overreaction. This one's from Connor. Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but Patriots still stink, obviously. However, the Eagles and 49ers should be worried. Both lose to backup QBs, and both teams were top of the class of the NFL. As much as cheering for the Patriots stinks right now, it is nothing close to what 49ers and Eagles fans are going through. Uh-oh! Connor, explain yourself.
Yeah, I mean, look, when you are watching a team that is 1-4 and you go into your day thinking, God, I can't want anything more than for my team to lose today, and then for them to lose, it might look tough on the outside, but when you're expecting it, it's great. We are working our way to a top 5 pick. Now, when you're the Eagles and you're the 49ers, and I think Ty, just mentioned this, all hell is breaking loose, and both of them aren't going to do anything for the rest of the year based on today's reaction. Now, obviously, they'll be fine later on, but this whole week for Niners and Eagles fans, all they're going to be thinking about is how they're not actual Super Bowl contenders, and that is worse going into a season thinking you are a Super Bowl contender than being a Patriots fan, being 1-5, knowing going into the season, hey, you don't have a chance.
Nice loser mentality is what people will say, but
yeah, I mean, it is.
The winner mentality is one that you can get let down.
Yeah.
And depending upon what happens with Christian McCaffrey, hey.
Yeah.
Honestly.
That's real.
Big piece.
He's game changer.
Got Lane Johnson, too.
Yeah, well, Lane, they're saying not serious, right?
Yeah.
That's what
Okay.
Schefter said. Schefter said not serious. But, CMC is a big deal. That's
I'd say.
That's a big fucking deal. Shanahan will figure it out, though. Both teams are going to be fine.
Yep.
He's saying, he's wrong. He's wrong, obviously. It's just an overreaction.
Don't ask.
Let's go to another overreaction. This is from Jammers Gaming, at JammersG. Hashtag, what's the difference between jelly and jammers? Do we know?
Man.
Something about
Say something about
shape.
Something about jamming.
Jamming.
Yeah.
Because we be jamming.
Can't
I
jelly
hope you
something.
like jamming too. We're jamming. Is that the difference? You can't jelly?
Loves jam
Yeah, 'cause
too.
you can't.
Well, somebody was jamming
Yeah.
in that particular situation with somebody that they weren't supposed to be jamming with.
That's right.
Jelly uses fruit juice, while jam consists of whole fruit.
Oh.
That is that saying. Okay.
Is that what? That sounded brand new to me.
It did.
Yeah.
What is it, AJ?
Yeah,
what is that?
That was always the jelly and jam situation growing up. That's always what I heard. I didn't hear anything. I don't know what you guys are thinking.
Fruit juice and the whole
Let's go back to Jammers G. He's not Jelly G. Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but I'm done with Desmond Ridder. Get him the fuck out of the starting lineup. Give me the Zen God Tyler Heineke. How are we ever going to get Sir Coach Artie Smith, KBE knighted, if he keeps throwing the worst interceptions in history? Young quarterback, learning things, going through things, threw for 300, had his best game last year. Now they're saying, get him the hell out of here because of the interceptions. These are going to come with young quarterbacks, although nobody has the patience for it, especially with an Atlanta team that might be able to sneak some dubs down there in the NFC South all year.
Yeah, just how long or I guess we want to see, hey, this can't continue. You can't continue to throw these tough interceptions that can potentially cost us a football game. And I'm sure Artie Smith is beside himself, sitting there watching the film of this.
Some really good memes out of Artie Smith on Sunday.
It was like at the same time I was watching him and Geno, and every single time they put him on, they were both in the red zone, I think, 4 times in the fourth quarter, and they both either were throwing interceptions or getting sacked, and it was one of the most frustrating things you could watch.
Cincy's defense clamped
Oh, yeah.
down there whenever they had to. Geno had a pretty good game, and then boom, get down to the red zone, not able to do it. Congrats to the Bengals getting a win. And let's talk about Seattle. That game's what, 10 a.m. local?
Yep.
Yeah.
Niners too.
That's tough.
That's so early.
Oh, yeah, Niners.
10 a.m. local.
Yeah, that's
gross. That is gross.
I can't do that.
That's rude. That's very rude to do. That's an advantage.
Huge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a competitive advantage. Seattle showed up, though. Very early, even to start the game, they were playing well. Good for them. But, Niners, Browns, conversation not happening. 10 a.m. local, playing in Cleveland. Rainy, miserable, cold, 10 a.m., your start time. No excuses. Figure it the fuck out. CMC gets hurt. Debo gets hurt. Trent Williams get hurt. No excuses. Figure it out. It's that's a lot. Brown's still good. But there was a lot working against the Niners yesterday as well.
Well, and just for that overreaction for Falcons fans, it's Taylor Heineke, not Tyler Heineke, just so they know their backup's name going forward.
Would be sick, though, if he just changed his name to Tyler because of that one tweet. Let's go to another overreaction. This is from Max Fletcher at Maximum Fletch.
Oh, boy.
Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but Indianapolis is fucked. We're in a worst case scenario. AR is out the rest of the year. I'm missing reps. Minshew Mania is dead. And Steichen will drag this crappy team to 7 anyways. Miss playoffs and get a crappy draft pick. Hashtag tank for Marvin Harrison Jr. Buddy, I agree with you, Max.
Get in line.
We're in a bad
Marvin would be good there.
Huh?
It'd be cool. See Marvin Jr. follow his dad.
Yeah, it would be really cool.
I believe in Gardner, though. Don't you believe in Gardner? I do.
I put a tweet out yesterday, actually. Said this morning when I woke up, I kissed my baby, said hello to my wife, took a dump. And then I looked in the mirror and I said, you know what? I'm pumped. We got fucking Gardner Minshew. Going back down in Jacksonville, going to be a little extra juice. He had 4 turnovers. He had his worst game as a professional. That's just one of those things going to happen. But yeah, I trust Gardner is going to get us some wins. And I trust that he's going to bounce back after having his worst game because he's Gardner Minshew, big brain, knows ball. Shane Steichen's going to set him up for success. I agree with a lot of the things he said there. My biggest worry, and I don't know Anthony Richardson well enough, but it was being reported as if he was the one saying, nah, need surgery, take me out for the rest of the season. That scares the shit out of me. That scares the shit out of me because of what we've heard has been happening in the building last year. And then obviously Jonathan Taylor's situation where he's opting out of playing with the new culture. He gets a new deal. Then if Anthony Richardson's opting out, it's what the fuck? This doesn't happen at the Chiefs. This doesn't happen at anywhere else. So now that we're learning that the Colts are also telling Anthony Richardson, let's figure it out. That takes a big weight off of my scared ass shoulders about the Colts. But yesterday for a while, there was a lot of we're dead forever, type of conversation happening. How do you change what's going on behind closed doors? And then now we're hearing it is, which is good news. But yeah, the Anthony Richardson thing really scares me because 4 out of 5 games.
That's tough.
He was hurt.
O-line's playing.
And I saw somebody who had a real big brain, who we appreciate, Rick Stroud down there, and say, look at the play where he got hurt on. The coach needs to take care of him. It's that's why he got drafted 4 overall, because he's the fastest quarterback to ever come through the combine. That's a part of who that's who he's going to be.
Yep.
That's why Shane Steichen's here. That is.
Right. Yeah.
So some of those tackles he has taken have not seemed to be, abnormal. And then he gets hurt from it. It's oh no, is this guy incredible?
He'll figure it out. He's going to figure out how to get down, how to avoid those. He's going to figure out.
Yeah, but some of those
he has to.
Some of those there weren't crazy
routine.
Yeah, it's not avoiding those shots. It was just standard. That's a standard tackle right there. That's gonna. I couldn't take it. Okay, that's why I was punter. My body couldn't handle it. But his, it's is he getting incredibly unlucky here, or what is the? Was he hurt coming in? Maybe that's what they're thinking. Maybe with the shoulder. It's hopefully it gets figured out because he is fucking awesome when he's playing football. But we haven't seen a lot of him. I have not got to see a lot of him.
And when you watch Lamar in London, and granted they're 2 completely different players, and Anthony Richardson is much stronger, heftier it seems than Lamar Jackson. But Lamar's so good at running up to guys and then just falling at their feet. He's not sliding. And he's not taking big shots, but he gets down. Do you think that's really what it comes down to for AR? If he can just learn how to get down, or
no, I don't know.
He's like a bruising back when he runs. He's a physical back.
And none of the shots, to Darius's point there, very routine tackles.
Yeah.
Like the knee one, he got hit, and I think his knees like hit together, and then he was off, and it was like, he's got a knee. It's like, oh no. Like, was he just unlucky there? And then the other one was just like a standard hit. It's like, is he just unlucky there?
Kept playing.
Hopefully we get the curse lifted from Anthony so he's healthy a little bit more. But I didn't like to hear that he was the one choosing, because then it's like, oh, this guy's like, he thinks he's got no shot of staying healthy this year.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, that stuff's like the hits he's taking where he's getting hurt, it's unavoidable. It's not like he's like, has a 20-yard gain, and instead of just getting out of bounds, he tries to get like an extra 3 yards and put his head down, and that's how he's getting hurt. Like, this is the shit that he's gotten hurt on are like unavoidable hits, like stuff that's going to happen when you play his style of football in the NFL.
And hopefully one day, like Kyle Van Noy talked about how much Lamar has progressed as a pocket quarterback. I think the same thing will happen for Anthony. Yeah. Because Anthony, like at some point, he will only be a pocket guy with running like as a last resort, but that time's not now.
No.
It's like how many years does it take to get to that point? It's like a long time. It's like, what do you
And you got to play. Like, you got to play. Like, you got to get a lot of reps. Like, it takes a lot of time to get that feel. So not playing is obviously tough. And not only
Maybe you
him,
should talk to Cam Newton.
Guys.
Sorry, D-Butt. Maybe you should talk to Cam Newton. How did Cam stay somewhat healthy, being such a big physical guy when he first came in the league?
Well, and Cam, the big thing with Cam was that they weren't calling the same penalties on hits on Cam because Cam's so damn big, like Anthony Richardson.
He was punishing defenders. That's the problem. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Let's stay in that game. There's been an update from the Jacksonville Jaguars QB health situation from Adam Schefter. Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence has what a league source has described as a knee sprain. That is not a significant thing, but it is uncertain whether Lawrence can play Thursday night at New Orleans, and Jaguars will determine as week progresses. Backup quarterback is C.J. Beathard, who came in and did the kneel down at the end of the game after they win 37-20 against the Indianapolis Colts. Okay, so not a significant thing. Feels like he's probably playing on Thursday. Now,
what is a knee sprain?
I assume that's an MCL. Usually that's what
probably.
And
because they never say you sprain your ACL or your PCL. It's usually MCL.
They said, I believe that was what Kenny originally had, but then it turned out to be a knee bone bruise, and then he played after.
So I had something where there's like a mesh around your knee that kind of like holds your knee together, and I forget, and I like either twisted it or like sprained the mesh that kind of holds it on the outside feel, and it was incredibly painful, but it only lasted like a week or so. I don't know. Yeah, we need to get more information, I guess. Thursday night, Saints defense. Maybe they do just say, hey, we're 5. What are the Jaguars right now? 4-2.
Yeah.
Maybe they do just say, hey, let's give this guy 2 weeks rest pretty much on a sprained knee. I don't know. So many different ways to kind of do this whole thing.
And Beathard's capable.
They know.
He's a capable ball player.
Yeah, he's an Iowa Hawkeye.
That's right.
Which means offensive efficiency.
He actually was the last time Iowa was worth a shit on offense was when he was quarterback.
You guys didn't complete a pass to a wide receiver during Purdue. I think you only have 22 passes to wide receivers as a whole this entire season.
Oh, yeah. And our only good pass catcher, Eric All, who transferred from Michigan, he got banged up against Wisconsin, so we may be without him. So it's going to be they're going to run it 65, 70 times this weekend.
That guy's bonus is nowhere near.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
So what's this mean? He's back another year just at
Oh, yeah, for sure. If they go to a Big Ten, they might go 11-1 and go to the Big Ten championship. And, they have no way to win. But could you imagine if somehow, whoever they're playing has a terrible day and Iowa creates, 6 turnovers and they get into, the fucking playoff or something like that? I mean, it'll never happen. But there is actually a path where that could happen. So, yeah, he'll be back. I mean, and we'll do the same fucking song and dance next year and the year after. That's just kind of the way it goes, unfortunately.
Speaking of song and dance, right now, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, and Caitlin Clark sell out stadiums.
Boom.
People forget about
How about that?
Sell out stadiums. That Iowa Hawkeyes
awesome.
women's basketball team playing in the stadium in Kinnick, that place was filled. I thought they would put it down the field, so that people
center field
would be able to see it.
That's not how they did it.
But I assume there was a wind issue or something that happened, because anytime you play outside, you got to take all those factors in.
Yeah, for sure. And the tunnel, I know, so when I used to work there, setting up it's not like a normal deal where you have those crews that come in to set up the court. I know students probably had to put that together, and that is not easy to do. That was probably the easiest way to get it in right there, just from one of the tunnels. because they had to move all the entire court from the field house to the stadium.
And also the Nebraska women's volleyball team.
Yep. Bingo.
I love what the Big Ten's doing.
Yeah.
Shout out sports, dude.
Shout out sports.
Volleyball game was sick. That looks like a horrible viewing experience if you're in that stadium.
Yeah. Oh, it was on the fucking Jumbotron.
Yeah.
You got two of them or just
cold
one?
and-
Two.
You got two jumbotrons.
Yep.
That's better than.
Yeah, one of them's a little smaller on the old end, but they just put a brand new one in on the home student section.
Let's go to a couple more overreactions and get the hell out of here. Tyler Lundy, who dat Lundy 09. Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but it is time to blow up this Saints coaching staff. Already? I don't mean fire everyone. I mean literally and physically blow them up. Sick and tired of running the ball up the middle in a red zone when we have 8-foot-tall Jimmy Graham.
Jeez.
I love that Derek Carr was able to do some things against the Texans defense once they started bringing pressure, but in the red zone, they weren't able to do a damn thing. Might be D'Amico's defense as well. Got to give credit where credit is due. Are we blaming the play calling down there, AJ?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Obviously, you got a guy like Jimmy Graham or some other guys, some big targets, throw him up, give him a chance, I guess. But yeah, like you said, there's a good defense too playing against them.
Yeah, Tony.
Matt Canada stole a lot of the headlines, but trust me, there are a lot of Saints fans who reply to me that they hate their offense coordinator.
Well, I'm sure Derek Carr's pumped about it. I saw Jameis talking to Alvin Kamara.
Oh, boy.
And that seemed to be pretty animated. This Jameis character is awesome.
He's the best.
He's the best.
I think
he is the best.
I think any time of day you can put him in any situation, he will be entertaining.
Yep.
I don't know what the fuck he was saying to Kamara, but Kamara going, and it was
Let's see.
okay.
Awesome.
You keep doing your thing, and then boom, bang, then we do pow. Yeah. All right. You know,
James.
what's that?
James a lot. Seems. From the outside looking out. That would
Leader,
be,
you mean
Like,
a lot
that
of
would be-
leadership?
that
A
would
lot
be
of
a
leadership.
Teammate. Yeah.
There would be an interesting dynamic, to have him as a teammate every day.
That's what I always talk about with Russell Wilson too. Like when his mic'd ups come out, and you're like, he's like, clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose today, boys. Let's go on the sideline. It's like, that's out of a movie. That's awesome. Is that every single day? Jameis feels like he's a character out of a movie. That's awesome. Is that every day?
If you're winning, like I'm sure, like Florida State Day, 13-0, you win a natty, or even when he was rolling in the league, it's all good. But if shit's not going as well, shut the fuck up, bro. Shut the fuck up. It could be that at times.
No, we're hoping not.
I love James.
Yeah, we love him. Love him. We're hoping that's not the case, though, honestly. And Kamara's like, you're you got a point. All right. Or I'm done with this.
Yeah.
All right, Jameis. This is Jameis. There's a lot of things that he could be saying. All of them are in response to a very animated, I assume, very motivating speech from old Jabu Winch. Shout out to Jameis Winston.
I bet Kamara went out there on the next drive and had 4 catches for 40 yards.
They didn't. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the last one here. Part-time degenerate. I don't think that is possible. Hashtag _Chan man.
Oh, he's
underscore. Hashtag I don't want to overreact. But if a team was deserving of relegation, it would be the New York Football Giants. Refund Daboll's Coach of the Year award. Demote Shane to assistant. Hand Kafka an application to the nearest McDonald's. Hand Wink and Gano more paychecks. Here's to another decade of maybe next year. Cheers, cheers, says this Giants fan. Daboll obviously immediately blamed somebody else for the snafu disaster that happened before half. He yelled at the offensive coordinator. Then the offensive coordinator obviously said Tyrod made the check. Every person that is on the internet said, why would you even call a play that had a run check possibility? Then I heard Collinsworth trying to describe how all these checks are automatically built in. And it's like, well, wouldn't you just potentially drop into his ear, backup quarterback? We know he's 34 years old. Hey, no matter what, this ball's going to us for a touchdown or thrown out of the back of the end zone. Now, let's run boom, boom, boom here. So you kind of even take a run check out of Tyrod's head. You kind of inform him and remind him of the actual situation. That was ugly.
Man.
That was terrible. And I'm not saying it's Daboll's fault, but he's the head coach, and that happened under his watch. He's going to have to eat that. But there's a lot of shit bad going on with the New York Giants.
A lot of shit bad. You mentioned it, the head coach. I guess throwing a guy under the bus, usually that's at that position. You just say, hey, even if it's bullshit, we all know it's bullshit. It's on me, can't happen, blah, blah, blah. And it absolutely can't happen with Tyrod Taylor. Maybe he just felt like, hey, I hand this ball off, catch him off guard, and he walks in the end zone untouched. But got to get points there, and it obviously came back to bite him in the ass.
Just a quick reminder before, because you got a play clock. I mean, what the, and then he went after the OC first, and then now he's going to Tyrod. We got to throw the ball. What are you? My bad, Tyrod said. My bad. But the OC is getting a lot of hands pointed at him because just a reminder before the play call, because that happens, like, let's remember the situation. We have no timeouts, 13 seconds. We could probably get 2-3 plays off here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that being said, let's run this. So unless that did happen, and Tyrod was like, nah, cuz I got a good read on this, I guess I'll blame Tyrod completely, but
Yeah, you can't do that.
can't happen. This is ugly. And then the Bills defense just laying on them.
Oh, yeah.
Smart. Awesome.
That was sweet.
On the complete opposite side, like incredible football IQ happening from the Buffalo Bills side. And you're right, it did cost them because that last drive is much different if that ball is in. And then also, they still a yard away from beating the Bills.
Yep.
That is bananas. Okay, let's make our picks for this evening as we get the hell out of here. Chargers, Cowboys. Cowboys favored on the road by 1.5 in LA, which is a pseudo home for the Dallas Cowboys. Remember, they have their training camp out there. Darius Butler, who is a Chargers diehard, we will start with you, pal.
I'm going with the Chargers here, and if it doesn't work out, let's bring over Belichick. Go ahead, Coach Justin Herbert win another 3 titles.
Okay. Now, allegedly, Belichick was trying to make a move to draft Herbert, and all of his trade requests were denied by the teams that he was trying to make moves to. Or maybe Vrabel, if he gets run out of Tennessee after this year. Sounds like D-But's out on Staley. A big win on Monday Night Football over Mike McCarthy could maybe change a narrative a little bit. Austin Eckler is back. All he does is score touchdowns. What do you think happens here, AJ, as we look at the score from this weekend between you and I?
I didn't know I even had 6. I thought I almost lost every one of them when I was checking.
Yeah, to be clear, I had no idea I had 8 wins either. Good for me. You're seeing the board well. Seeing the board well right now, even though nobody thinks that's the case. AJ, who do you like? How do you like them?
I got to go with the Dallas Cowboys here. As Adam Schefter came on in the first hour, he said they're not going to throw 2 stink bombs in a row and play 2 poor games in a row. So give me the Dallas Cowboys minus 1.5 against the Chargers.
Chargers are 2-2. Dallas is 3-2. Dallas is 9-1 after a loss since 2021 under Big Mike. They're favored on the road. I don't fully understand it. So you're not supposed to take them. Give me the Cowboys.
Okay.
Minus 1.5. AJ and I are on the same side. D-But's on the Chargers. I respect and appreciate the Chargers. I like the way Justin Herbert plays. I believe Austin Eckler is going to score a touchdown tonight. But somehow, some way, Dallas Cowboys end up with a big-time dub. So congrats to Big Mike McCarthy.
Good coaching matchup here. Kellen Moore, Dan Quinn, those guys know each other well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bench game.
And Staley and Big Mike known to make really sound football IQ clock management decisions.
Big time guys.
So it should be electrifying all the way through. We might question some things, but who cares? Let's get the fuck out of here. We'll be back tomorrow with a beautiful Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. Hey, great work today, AJ.
Great work, boys.
Big thanks, Kyle Van Noy, Adam Schefter, Darius Butler, all the boys. You guys are the best. We'll be back tomorrow, noon on ESPN. Friday, noon Eastern time, live on Ohio State's campus. I believe right outside the stadium on the College Game Day set. We'll have surprises and special guests. Ain't that right, AJ?
Oh, cannot wait. It should be wild.
AJ.
Yeah.
It should be wild.
Yeah. It's going to be awesome.
It will be. It will be. I'm building up, man. It's only Monday. I'm just building up.
Yeah.
Can't blow your wad on Monday.
Smart. Don't want to climax too early.
No.
Got to climb before the climax.
Trust it.
Trust
the climb like your guy. Neil Brown.
Heartbreaker.
Yeah. That was tough.
Oh, man, that did just happen. That
was
the Hail Mary situation that is so just very rarely is a completion.
It never happens.
Golly. That was fucking tough.
Yeah.
Heartbreaker.
We would have been fine.
Especially after Con Man tweeted, congrats to WVU.
Yeah, I finally came around. I was
it was
like,
your
I
fault.
said terrible things about them.
It's your fault.
How's UConn doing?
Oh,
okay.
You don't need to talk about it.
They are a strong 2-5.
You don't need to talk about it.
Are you guys still independent?
Yep.
So we're not going to talk bad about them because we don't want them to, just like Washington State.
Yeah, don't want to lose their program.
How'd they do Saturday night?
Who's that?
Washington State? They're playing Arizona, right? I think I missed the score again.
Oh, yeah, they got the brakes blown off.
Yeah, they got shit pumped.
Had some Washington State people say some rude stuff to me. I appreciated it, though.
Has to be expected.
I respected it. They had like 4 or 5 flags out there. They were flying it in the middle of the band of Washington, I guess, at one point. And Washington's band was like, Can we not move this? Like, what are we? I'm like, well, they're the most popular people out here.
Yeah.
Ask them. They'll tell you. Boom, bang.
Oh.
Falls flat. This one's for the Cowboys.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
Ooh.
This one's for the Chargers.
Money.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
That is
Overtime,
classic,
man.
That's classic Chargers halfway.
Go,
down.
no, team.
Man, don't say that,
Overtime.
Tom.
This one's for the boys. All right, they're tying. Wow.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, they get a tie ball game tonight.
Have to
That'll cap off this Week 6 NFL.
Yep.
So good. I just saw Mel Kiper on the screen over there. I don't know what he's talking about, but I'm very excited to get into Mel Kiper season. Shout out to our Mad Mel. I believe you and he are probably going to have a couple moments together.
I hope so.
From what I've been told.
I hope
Really?
so.
Legit. Yeah. From what I've been told, like every human that you potentially do would be in.
That's awesome.
You and Mel Kiper will be. I can't. That's draft spectacular. That's so far away.
Ways away.
I was just
We
gonna
don't need to
say,
talk about
how
it right
many
now.
months?
All right, we're back tomorrow with Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Goodbye.